faster. I just wanna dance and dance till I'm numb and I'm done and I'm ready to the ground. Can you feel it now? When we're dancing to the stars, I just wanna be someone you remember. A star glowing like the sun. Can't you see my heart is sore and tender? And I just wanna dance and dance till I'm numb and I'm done. Now the rattling has just begun. Can you feel it now? When we're dancing to the stars, can you feel it now? When we're dancing to the stars, I just wanna be someone you remember. Not just one in a million stars. I just wanna dance, dance. Can you feel it now? When we're dancing to just feels right. Possessed by the moonlight. But sometimes you let it in, sometimes you'll get it. Don't wait for the sun, don't wait for the sun. Baby, don't leave me, just dance and believe in it. Don't cross the line, let the temperature rise now. Here in the moonlight, don't wait for the sun, don't wait for the sun. Baby, don't leave me, just dance and believe in it. Get on up, baby, you get it. Get on up, baby, you get it. Get on up, baby, come on, let's get it on. Let me show you how. Assume I'm right. Sometimes just let it, sometimes just let it. Don't wait for the sun, don't wait for the sun. Baby, don't leave me, just dance and believe in it. Get on up, baby, you get it. Get on up, baby, you get it. Get on up, baby, come on, let's get it on. Let me show you how. Get on up, baby, you get it. Get on up, baby, you get it. Get on up, baby, come on, let's get it on. Let me show you how.
Well, that didn't go off as I planned. I thought I had a little more behind that last. Hey, that sounded alright this time. Let's try it again from the beginning. No. Thank you for joining us here Sunday evening. This is our 5th of 6 Coalescence tables that are starting their first session here tonight. Our final one will be this coming Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. Pacific. We will cross that bridge when we get to it. Little asthma overflow here from the all the wind going on outside. So hopefully we can clear that up here shortly. Worst case, we will bust out a little puff of the albuterol. But thank you for joining us here at Roleplaying Unlimited this evening at the 100th Meridian, where the Great Plains begin, where we shall witness the execution of all things. I am your host, Tragically HP, guiding you on this adventure story / horror for the next few hours. Let's jump into the voice chat and see what's going on with everybody this fine evening.
There's the yell.
Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to the chopper here, where we must get to it if we want to live.
Get to the chopper.
Hey, at least you don't have to fucking talk to me through my staff every 5 seconds now.
Well, I think your new character's gonna have a staff as well.
Yeah, the barbarian's gonna have a staff. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Barbarians can use staffs.
Well, my warlock has a staff.
But it only talks to Richter.
Do it to him, not me.
Welcome back, Sunday evening party, and especially Baushi here joining us for the first time. Hello.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Looks like Parker is still crafting her character, but we'll hopefully jump into the voice chat once she has gotten there.
With a name like Parker, they need to go with the name Peter for the character.
And we have our new live setup here for Sunday evening's story entitled New Ford. We'll see just what all that entails, but we have here our starting group of characters as well, 4 of the 5 complete. We also have our oh-so-trustworthy looking farmer named Heslaf, who has joined us in the text RP a couple of weeks ago. He joined our party having recently been bitten by one of the undead, and it was through our party's healing of him and the ensuing roleplay that we have learned a rather valuable difference between previous Agent Orange campaigns and this one is that a bite does not necessarily spell instant death. In this case, we will have a different mechanic, which we posted numerous times over the past week since we've been playing this. We will probably address that as well here tonight. And we also have an NPC who, for those familiar with Enemir lore, it's either a very popular name, or perhaps we have the legendary bard himself here with us. And despite being the extra here at this table, we're going to start it off with you as far as character introductions, and we will carry it from there.
Okay. Well, Marcel de Brenz. As a matter of fact, he was basically, when he was growing up, he was raised in a foster home, basically orphaned, and they just called him Steve. And as he grew up, in order to pay his way through the orphanage, he had to go out and steal, and he had to learn to con people. And so he really wasn't that great of a guy, but it always felt wrong to him. Well, one day he actually stole an identity off of a person who was going to go to the Bard College. So he went to the Bard College, and when they were asking his name, he saw a picture on the wall, and the title was Marcel de Brenz. And so he selected that name as his own, and the administrator that was admitting him was a little surprised by it, and he goes, "I guess my parents had greater things in mind for me." And so he graduated from the Bardic College, and he's been a wandering bard trying to figure out what's going on because he recently noticed all the new stuff going on. So he's writing songs and stories and trying to explain all of this.
Well, okay. Let's have Richter tell us a bit about his character, please.
So Ballard does not necessarily know exactly how he came to be in the middle of all this, but he's seen outer skirts of it, but he hasn't had to deal with them directly in terms of the oranges. But he's been surviving for the past couple of weeks, probably a little bit less than that, but he's been on his own up until he met the camp with you guys.
Awesome. And up next here, I believe this is our friend C joining us for the second campaign, playing, is it Rala?
Yes, Rala.
Excellent. Tell us a bit about your character, if you would, please.
Well, Lala is a bit of a sorcerer and a bit of a sage from the organization known as the Magician's Robe, where she studies all kinds of magic and where they come from and whatnot. He's mostly to investigate a certain incident involving a group of sorcerers being killed off by a kingdom for being deemed to be too dangerous.
Interesting. And also joining us for a second campaign here is Mike playing Xavier.
Hello, and thank you. So, my character's name is Xavier. Xavier hasn't really talked too much about his past because, well, he's keeping it a secret for now. But one thing that you will notice with Xavier is that his skin is kind of the color of like black coal, and he has orange cracks that run through it that kind of glow a slight bit. He kind of resembles a human, although not at the same time.
I think we might end up calling this guy Ashy Larry. Get this guy some damn lotion! And last but not least here, at least until Parker finishes crafting her character, let's just take a look. Yeah, looks like she's still in progress there. Let's hear a little bit about our Furbolg. Hopefully this token works for you. I just chose one of my cooler looking Furbolgs and assigned that to your character.
Oh yeah, no worries. I have a token, but I'll upload it later. I haven't gotten to it. But his name is Lovelar Ithro. He is a sweet, sweet, gentle Firbolg from the deep south with a nice southern accent, but also from a hippie commune. We've talked about it before, but he knows what Woodstock is, and that's all fun and dandy.
Fantastic. And our group has already, for the most part, introduced themselves in our text play channel. Parker, I think, will be the only exception, not counting our extra. And refresh my memory, is this just another kind of isolated campsite that we were set up here for Sunday G2? I believe that was the case.
I believe Shags was the one who started that, so I don't know specifically.
Well, the campsite was set up by one of the other people, and everyone just kind of came along as Xavier was walking along the road towards a town that's just off in the distance. And that's when everyone just started coming out of the woodwork, literally. And everyone kind of gathered at the campsite.
Awesome.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, we've had a couple gatherings like this. And we are on the same map as our 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 Monday and Tuesday parties. They are all the way over here, though, investigating this new location on the Lucky Lake that is called Turtle Cove. Meanwhile, some 60 miles away to the southwest, on the coastline. Coastline? Ain't this New Mexico? Well, that's where we find ourselves. The green grass is a little bit more yellow at this time of year with the higher temperatures. And we do have some scattered trees and what have you off in the distance, likely where our group met, somewhere over here. And while they are currently hidden on the map, we do have two locations that are visible off in the distance. Both of them appear to be larger settlements, but for those of you who are coming from a medieval fantasy inspired setting, i.e. Most of you who are native to this setting, the cities do not resemble architecture that you are at all familiar with. There's one over here up against some green mountains, and then there is another slightly smaller city off to the north, also on the same coastline that you are at. And before we get too much further into it, I see that Parker has joined us here. Hello, hello, welcome back.
I think they forgot to enable push to talk.
That's what it looks like.
Oh yeah, either that or they just have themselves muted, but hopefully sort that out here soon, and we will hear from you in a minute, Parker. There it is.
Yeah, it was the push to talk thing. Sorry about that.
Welcome back, welcome
Always
back.
forget.
So let's take a look at your character here. Let's jump back to the lineup page here. Get something appropriate for your character sheet. Oh, very interesting. Not sure what I have artwork-wise for this. Let's see.
Do you want me to do the
Oh
talking
yeah,
real
we
quick?
got something here.
I guess I go have some fun.
Wow, look at that one. Okay. But yeah, go ahead and tell us a bit about your character there, Parker.
Well, Freyu has existed for about 6 minutes, and she is a druid who lives in the forest. And she's a hermit because she doesn't like people, because people are scared of snakes and she likes snakes. So she just kind of hangs out and tries to spend as much time away from people as she can. She's become kind of an herbalist, but not, she doesn't interact with her nearby villages. It's knowledge she tends to keep to herself. That's all she's really got going for her right now. It works.
Very nice. I have a couple tokens here. Have a look-see at these and tell me if either of these might fit the bill.
I liked the first one better. I don't like that second one. The one, yeah, I like that one better.
Excelente. Get that. Get rid of you. Okay.
Hooray, the gang's all here.
Woo woo woo! And room for 2 more at this table if you're watching and want to join in for some free gaming. If you're part of our community already and are like, hey, how did I miss that there was a seat open at this table? Parker, does your character have dark vision? I'm thinking probably so.
Yes, my character does.
Fantastic.
I don't think I have ever, just by accident completely, but I don't think I've ever played a character that didn't have dark vision.
I think we're going to have over 40 different characters between all 6 of these tables this campaign season. And to date, I think 2 of them are human.
I get to play a human in regular life. Why would I ever want to play a human in a fantasy game?
Exactly.
Good point.
Well, I
Well, I
have
mean-
a human in Wednesday, and Marcel is human.
Xavier is almost human.
Yeah, my big thing with human, especially, and this is more from a live action role playing perspective. And granted, this is also going back, fucking hell, 21 years. So I know our gaming sensibilities have morphed a lot since then. But in my live action role playing days, people who played elves, dwarves, hobbits, catfolk, and what have you, they played those races, but with human motivations and human mentalities, and that kind of became the running joke of, oh, you're a human who looks like a cat. Oh, you're a human who has a big dwarf beard. Like, there wasn't a lot of effort made to distinguish, well, I'm obviously an elf, aside from the fact that I look like one. And that was always my argument, well, I'm playing a human, so nobody can tell me I'm playing it wrong, because, I mean, come on.
That actually is one of the funny ones about Vampire the Masquerade is you're playing an eons old vampire.
Yes.
Yet you want to have things done right now.
Yes, yes.
Right? Yeah, I know. One of the issues that I have with certain players, whenever I'm playing, is that certain races have a proclivity towards evil or towards neutral, and they all try and play not the way the character would, but then they get into this idea of, oh, I can get away with being a jerk of a player just because, oh, it's something my character would do, and it's like, no.
Oh, yeah.
Because You're
Yeah,
making
then-
you're making excuses at this point, because
Yes.
there's a
See-
difference between getting into the mindset of a character that's a different race or a different culture or something, and just being a jerk or something like that, you know?
So one of the other major things that comes up with that as well is that you can play one of the most evil characters and still be a caring and loving partner and friend to an entire party, because
Oh, yes.
the evil that you do is for the greater good of your group.
Exactly.
The greatest villains have ways of making their audience sympathize with their aims and their goals. That's why Magneto has endured for 60 plus years and is still one of my favorite villains. And Vader, likewise, a favorite villain for a lot of people.
Mine is
To
still
this
Harley
day.
Quinn, but that's just me.
Oh yeah,
I was
mine.
like, to this day, I don't think Vader blew up a planet. He might be wrong. But I don't think Magneto was wrong. I don't think he's a villain.
Well, some of the things he does are wrong, but the place he's coming from is a place that I think many of us can identify, or at the very least empathize with.
A lot of people put
Yes.
him in the anti-hero categories.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, some people would arguably say Punisher is more of a villain than Magneto ever was, just because of the way he goes about his methodology.
I
Oh,
am one
you
of
mean
those
because
people.
Oh yeah,
he's one of the ones that actually kills people
Sure, sure.
outright?
I have plus
Magneto
2
doesn't
ammunition.
always.
So yes, let's jump back over here to our UCore map.
So
I think I should too.
I need to ask, which direction was I coming from, and which village is it of the two that I was walking towards? Because you said there was one to the left of us and one to the right of us, basically, right? Like one up and to the right, and one, or sorry, up to the left and one down to the right.
At this point, one is as good as another. The landscape and the topography around us are radically different than what we are used to, so the direction we were going might not be the direction we're still going.
Okay.
And now I was planning on heading over to the kingdom, in which I probably wanted to go to the right or whatnot.
Yeah, the major capital city that's got like 1 million plus people, the largest city in Ukor, if not all of Enemir, is more towards the central kingdom. You guys can see the tall mountains even at this distance, like 25 plus miles away. The city itself, though, is well outside of your lines of sight, but it would be like way off in this direction.
I do have a question then as well. With the histories of Ukor and all that stuff, would my character know about that, or is that future?
I would say that's all in-game information, even if you're kind of a stranger to these lands. Like Ukor City is pretty famous.
Oh, I understand that. I'm just talking about the backstory stuff I was talking about before. I'll message you real quick privately.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take the assumption that Ballard only knows the basics of the land.
Yeah, whatever works out best for you. And then, of course, as we are playing in-game, that's why we have skill checks and can be like, oh, my character does know or does not know. So on and so forth.
I'm just taking from the whole other thingy.
Terry hit the nail on the head right there. Negan, another particular favorite of mine. There's not as many identifiable or empathetic qualities with him, at least not until much later in his story, but just the aura that he presents as a villain. And as a GM of 25, 30 years who has tried on numerous occasions to have the villain corner the party and have them at their mercy, seeing that first debut scene of Negan is definitely an evil GM's dream come true.
Yeah, well,
let's see.
I've played a few evil characters throughout the campaigns, but none of them have ever screwed over the party and such. Even Denshar tried, but never really did it.
Oh yeah, that's because for the most part, most of us understand it's a team game, and we can still have our individual motivations, but at the same time, it's all about the group experience.
Yeah, every single evil character I've ever tried to play, with one very, very particular exception, they all just become very tsundere towards the rest of the party. Like, how dare you assume that I like you? Ugh.
Interesting.
So as far as the here and now, anyway, which direction seems more suitable for us, north or south? The road at least still seems intact, although it's a weird road with these white dividing lines that are kind of dashed, and there's like these weird like white bumps in the middle of the road that seem to separate it into two different lanes. Must have been doing some construction out here in Ukor pretty recently. But at the same time, these roads look very old, like they haven't been maintained in years.
Just checking right now. I have to look back a little ways. We've had a lot of chat.
Oh yeah. But, well, yeah. I mean, we got all these other characters in this party as well. Do any of you have a direction you would like to go? I know I'm kind of waiting on some stuff with Mike here. Otherwise, the rest of
I am
sometimes
but an observer and a recorder. I shall help you as necessary, but my my ultimate goal is to be able to determine what's going on and make a most wonderful story of it.
Remind me, where on the map we are once more. Can you ping it?
Right down over here.
I was hoping on going down to the south, see what happened in the kingdom.
There you go. I've added it.
I'm just here for the ride. I'm here with my chest. That's all I care about.
I'm just here to kick ass and take names. And I'm all out of names.
Yeah, none of you in the
I'm
chat
all out of names.
reacted to me just pulling over two, like, very sizable chests. Which is what I would be leaning on at this point in the camp.
Now, it's not many of us have many places to go, huh?
Isn't carrying that much baggage kind of cumbersome to you?
Well, it was when I had to move, but most of the time I would just stick in the one place and just farm. Like I said, I haven't really had many encounters with these oranges, but for the most part, I carry what I can and then put the access in the chest. I'm not hounding on the fact that we're determined to keep everything in the chest if it means life or death.
Quite interesting.
Oranges. That's just a strange name for a group of undead, don't you think?
That's just what I've heard from around, but yeah, I could quite agree, considering that was the name of something else that I know.
Oh, I see you all know each other. I do apologize for my rudeness. My name is Marcel de Brenz. I am a traveling bard amongst these parts. And if I may I join you for a little while so that I can complete the tales that I've been trying to tell?
Well, since this group has expanded from one to many, I don't see why not.
Well,
Well,
thank you.
now
I
don't say
appreciate
that. You can never.
We've been sliding since I don't remember when. In and out of consciousness.
Well, this is awkward.
Oh, do you object to my presence? I mean, I can leave if you wish.
They call
No.
me Xavier. It is a pleasure to meet you.
No, I don't object at all. My name's Raleigh. It's good to meet you.
Ah, the pleasure is all mine of meeting all of you.
The name's Lovelaw. Now that we're all big buddy and good friends, why don't we and he like starts looking around. Why don't we find some place, cause it's getting cold.
Well, unfortunately, I think it's probably always going to be cold from here on out, but I do agree we should probably start moving.
Well, I suppose
Well-
that will call into question how we gonna move all this loot.
Well, if other people want to pick up some of the stuff inside of the chest, they can. I'm not opposed to it, but we don't have to take any of it either. I have quite a substantial amount already on me, so.
Well, what is in the chest?
How heavy is the chest?
Well-
I just kick open both the chests, and then you just see piles of gold.
Every 50 gold weighs 1 pound, and he's got a lot of gold in there.
So I already did the math before the campaign, but I currently have 23,800 on me, like holding on me, and there is 27,192 in the chest.
Jesus. That's
Is
a lot
that
of
gold? That's gold pieces or that's pounds?
That's gold pieces.
Okay, because I was like, I don't think anybody's going to be lifting that if it's the pounds.
Well, I'm also an 18 strength barbarian, so that's part of the reason why I'm able to carry so much.
Well, if you're just offering it to everybody that's here, I wouldn't mind. And Xavier will walk over to the chest and pick out about 1,000 gold, if that's okay.
He's not going to stop you.
And
Mine
here's
didn't-
something that J-Man did not... Well, let's see if he was using this. It's a variant. Okay, so yeah. He did not bring this fact up. And I don't know, maybe he was looking in a different area because he said something about 15 times. Maybe that's just the absolute maximum that you can carry. But this is an important distinction and much more fitting for the way it's going to be so that we don't have everybody just carrying up to 1 ounce within their maximum capacity and still moving light as a feather. So, strength score 5 times, you are now encumbered. Your speed drops by 10 feet. If you're being pursued by guys who move 50 feet around and you're encumbered, that is bad. 10 times your strength score, you are now heavily encumbered, which means your speed drops to 10 feet. You are almost motionless. And disadvantage on most of your physical checks.
Oh, so
Well-
my character was already at the encumbered then when it came to not having the gold.
Yeah, the Roll20 sheet also does that for you automatically too, though.
Sure.
Oh, that's convenient.
Well, no, because my strength score is only an 8. So
Oh.
5 times 8 is like
40.
40.
Yeah.
And my starting gear is 105 pounds.
Oh my god.
That doesn't... Because your weight, your maximum weight that you can carry is 15 times your strength.
Right. But
Correct,
that
before you're
puts me-
absolutely just bogged down and can't move. But if he's carrying 100 pounds and his 5 times his strength is 40, he's now encumbered.
Right. And that's just by carrying my stuff.
Are those from the GM book, or what are those from?
The player's handbook.
Yeah.
That doesn't... Okay. If it's from the player's handbook, it's correct, but I mean, I've just
mean-
never heard that before, so...
It's
Like-
not something that most parties ever get into, but it's not usual that a first level character is toting around that much weight.
Well,
No, I know
one of the
even
things
saying
right off
that
the
is
bat
that-
is leather
yeah.
armor is 10 pounds. Hunting
But-
trap is 25 pounds. There's like my weight minus 5.
Yeah, but like even ignoring the gold amount or anything like that, it just seems weird to me the fact that he can't even carry his starting equipment without being encumbered.
Well, what's his strength score again?
8.
That's the answer. If his strength score was a 12, are you still in the same boat? Like
Yes.
if your character works
Because
out
that would
just
only be
little
a
bit?
60 and I'm at 105 pounds. Like, to be able to do that, I would need over 20 for my strength to be able to carry the 105 pounds of starting equipment.
It looks like you're going to be leaving some of that stuff in the box.
I already said I wasn't supposed to leave it in the box. I don't care, but I'd like to take as much as we can,
And to think,
just in case.
And to think, my strength score is kind of worse. I have a 7.
How'd you achieve a 7?
Rolling.
You're not supposed to roll, it's supposed to be
It's,
all
yeah, it's standard array.
Standard array.
standard
Oh.
array.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
So yeah,
I don't know. Here's how I see it. If your character is carrying your dungeoneering equipment, your gaming set, your trap, while you are physically maneuvering about in combat, then yeah, you need to have a very, very high strength to not be encumbered by that. If you're just carrying it on your back as you're doing your daily march, similarly, yeah, that's going to slow you down, even if it is just starting equipment, and even if there is a little eyebrow raising and confusion in that respect. There's not always a need to carry a lot of stuff.
I understand that. I'm just asking because of the fact that I think most starting equipment comes to about the same amount of weight value. And with that rule that you have set in about the excess 5 times, I think that means everybody would be encumbered right now.
That's certainly worth exploring. I think that's also what entices people to invest in riding animals and eventually magic items, to where those encumbrance effects don't land as much. And this brings up a kind of a tricky situation. Like the intent of the encumbrance is really only, and I say this every campaign, it really only ever comes into play if I look on your character sheet and I see that you are toting around the weapons and armor of every creature you've ever slain with the intent of selling them like a video game. Then I'm going to be like, well, where are you carrying this 1,500 pounds of gear, even if your character's got a 20 strength? And it's not something we ever see, so the encumbrance never comes up. This is the first time, I want to say, probably in 10 years of us playing 5e, that it's really become something worth exploring, and only because we have this much gear. So the question, I don't even know if it's a question, but it's extending it into other aspects. The intent is to prohibit toting around all of this excess stuff, not to prohibit us from carrying our starting equipment, which we've never had a problem with.
Yes, the first issue of the session. How can we carry this much gold?
Well, it's fine. I mean, what it just means, I don't know about the carry weight times 5 or anything like that, but what the total weight is, because if I add the 1,000 gold,
Well, divide that by 50, and that's how many pounds it is. And now
So
you
as soon as
encumbered
I-
yourself by carrying 1,000 gold.
soon as I add the 1,000 gold, that puts me to 125.76 total weight, which puts a notation that says I'm over carrying capacity, which means I can't carry that much.
I just want to let it be known that Lovelar can carry 200 more pounds of things. So
And that's his max, or that's his times 5?
before being encumbered, he counts as large in terms of
Do you have powerful
determining
build?
carrying capacity.
So with powerful build, what's your strength right now?
So powerful build just times 2, hit whatever it is. So he times this by 15 and then times this by 2.
Right, but I'm asking for because you're encumbered at 5 times your strength score, right? So he would be encumbered at 10 times the strength score. So what's his strength score?
11.
So that means that he would be encumbered at 110 pounds.
So I redid it, and I'm encumbered for the 5 times at 1,300 gold.
So what we could do is we could bury those chests for you, and then mark the place and come back for them later.
I mean, I highly doubt we'll. Sorry, I was typing. I highly doubt we'll come back to them, but I suppose it can't hurt to bury them, and if we do come back, we do.
This may seem like a very bizarre question, but why are you carrying all this gold anyways? I mean, did you just happen to miraculously come upon this gold? Did it just appear in front of you? Did you get it from a large city or something where you couldn't go and get them converted into gems, which would be lighter and smaller? Or are you just trying to impress everybody with how much money that you happen to have?
The money was from a friend who went missing. Let's put it that way. It is in no means, because I hardly doubt money means anything in this world as we know yet, so. But in case and inventance that it does, I'd like to keep some at the very least so that we have some sway in it.
Oh, all right. Because, I mean, I remember, for most towns that I've gone through, most bars and taverns and stuff, a few copper here, a few copper there. Most villages don't make more than a gold per, 6 months. And you've got enough to, make us the target of every criminal that wants gold and have it slowed down. So it just confuses to me why. And you were traveling by yourself before, so who was helping you carrying all this?
While
Well,
they're
to-
doing this conversation, Xavier will start digging a hole.
Well, it wasn't really carrying. I kind of dragged them most of the time, but then again, I kind of just kept myself in a shack out in the middle of nowhere. But I mean, like I said, most of the time, nothing would disturb me. It would be mostly just normal creatures, not any of these oranges that we've heard of. But
I thought you put wheels on the bottom of the chests and you rode them like 2 giant roller skates.
shh, I was trying to keep that secret. Shut up.
Hey, stop stealing the secrets to the Halfling pantry, all right?
I didn't know any, but I said you looted them from some old some shipwreck or something.
That probably would have been more likely in terms of trying to get people to believe me, but it's a little complicated for me at the moment to tell exactly 100% how I got this.
Who said they were digging the hole?
Shags, or I forgot character names already.
I'm really bad at names, so I have no idea about the character names.
Xavier said they were digging the hole.
Xavier, yes. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting I have to push to talk.
No, you're good. I just went over to the character tab and did it. That's all.
Got it. So, as you're digging a hole, you get. I like the idea. You get a little ways in before all of a sudden, from the trees over to your right over there, you hear a voice come out, just like, "Stop! What are you doing?"
Digging a hole. What's it look like?
Now and all of a sudden from these trees, a giant snake woman comes bolting at you, and with like her large stick that she has in arms. She looks deranged. She's
Oh
got
my
like
god. Okay. I'm
twigs
sorry
and
if
shit.
you're charging at my character out of the shadows and out of a tree, he's going to use burning hands on you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but he has someone yelling at him for digging a hole to help one of his party members, and then all of a sudden a snake woman comes charging at him with a stick from the trees.
She does look awfully creepy. Like she's got leaves and sticks sticking out of her hair and everything.
Yep. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I totally deserve that.
While examining this, sick woman goes, "Are you perhaps a druid?"
Real quick, how am I burned?
It would be 6 fire damage as a cone of 15 foot of fire comes out of his hands. You can make a DC 15 save for half.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Dan, were there any her race in the old coalescence?
There were not.
Okay, then never mind. I would not know.
Alright, as far as the encumbrance goes, what I'm looking at here is a variant of the existing system of times 15, and we'll just keep it at the times 15. That'll be the end of that.
Okay, okay. Then I'll re-add the gold. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel the variant captures the spirit of what we're looking for here more, but I also don't want to delay every table by 45 minutes as everybody has to double and triple check their gear and make those important choices of I can bring this, I can't bring this, and that'll be the end of that.
I apologize. I didn't mean to throw that all out there.
Not your fault.
In all fairness, do you want me to in the sake of fairness, I should say, do you want me to just half the amount of gold I have on me and bury the rest?
Well, I mean, you guys can carry what you're going to carry and bury what you're going to bury for that same
Okay.
stuff.
I was just asking because I get the point that you were making with you don't want us just carrying around fucking half the fucking world. Just because we can.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Okay.
5e is more designed for simplicity than realism, so I was a bit surprised when I saw that variant come up, because I was like, hey, that's D&D as I know it. Like, that's old school D&D where, I mean, I've told the story numerous times. My very first dungeon, my character walked in and fell through an illusory pit trap into a pool of water, and I'm playing a dwarf fighter, and the DM was like, you're carrying too much gear. So I lose my armor,
You're
I'm
just
still
gonna
carrying too
drown.
much. I lose my axe, I'm still carrying too much. I came out of there with like 1 day of food and a dagger. Like that's where I come from in D&D. So to see people able to like balance like busboys like 3,500 pounds of gear on 2 different trays as they're adeptly adventuring is still a bit of an eye opener for me.
All right.
That was not the button I meant to click.
How dare you? But that does help. That does give you advantage on the saving throw.
That is true.
Worth knowing.
I wanted to expand it and double check that was what it did. I accidentally put it in the chat, but you know what? That's fine.
Oh, jeez.
So you take half damage, so 3 fire damage.
Natural 20 for the first roll. Bam!
All right, like yeah, she kind of you clip her shoulder as she dodges out of the way of this giant cone, like flat on the ground kind of thing. And she's like, "What was that for? What was that for?"
Came charging at me out of the darkness. I thought you were attacking
Because
me.
you're digging in a sacred location. What do you think you're doing?
No one told me
excuse-
this was a sacred location.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you
Yeah?
happen to be a druid?
She just kind of looks down at herself and looks at her fancy stick and everything, and she's like, "Yeah."
That
really quick.
explains it.
Just really quick, everybody is in their current form. Nobody's covered in illusion or anything else like that.
Nope.
Yep, I'm still.
I mean, I always wear a
As I
mask
seem-
of some type, but I assume you can't see past the 4th wall.
Take
Depends on how high they
nihilist
roll the perception.
mask off.
So, anyways,
Not even that
we're
mask,
sorry.
just in general. I mean,
We're sorry, ma'am. We didn't think this was a sacred ground. So we're helping our friend here to dig up a hole so they could bury these chests here.
Well, fill in that hole there and move it like, say, half a mile that way. And she points off into the distance.
half a mile? That'll take 1,000 hours.
Well, it's either move or get haunted. And I don't think you want to get haunted.
Xavier will
believe
just
that
kind of
just
do like a double take at her, look over at the group of people, and start filling in the hole.
yeah, I don't believe that's how hauntings work.
She kind of narrows her eyes at you. I forgot to push to talk, sorry. She kind of narrows her eyes at you and she's like, what would you know?
Oh, I know quite a bit. I've been around quite, and I've actually been to the Bardic College, so we've learned quite a bit of things about magic and arcana and how things like that work. And hauntings are generally because of the restless spirit of a tragic incident or accident to that location, that the spirit of that person tends to be vengeful, and that's what causes a haunting. Have any of you seen anything happen that's out of the unusual?
She holds up her hand, like to gesturing you to stop talking.
Can I-
And she lowers her body down to where Xavier is filling in the hole and kind of puts her hand on the back of his for a second, like pausing him. And she scoops up a handful of dirt and holds it out to the bardic person who was talking, whose name I totally know.
Marcel.
Marcel, thank you. She holds it towards Marcel, and in her hand, in the dirt, you can see like not necessarily a family, but you can see several grubs and other bugs inside the earth in her hands.
Can I make a history check? Like if this could cause a haunting or something?
See these poor creatures? Would you want to feel them crawling under your skin for the rest of your life? Looking for the darkness that you took from them when you ripped them from the earth?
Well, I'm not sure about crawling
Yeah, I
under
don't
my
think that's how
skin,
bugs work either.
but those grubs could be a good meal.
Can I make an arcana? Can I make a check to see if those rumblings could actually do a haunting?
Yeah, sure.
Arcana?
That could work. Nature probably also fitting. Not that you've ever heard of, but yeah, you're pretty well aware that there's a lot of mysteries out there.
It's not my knowledge. These things could exactly cause a haunting, but yep, there's a lot of mysteries out there.
So, I assume then you weren't trying to attack me?
Of course not. I'm a peaceful person.
Okay.
You know what I mean.
You came charging at me, waving your stick around. It made me think you were coming to attack me. I apologize about the fire. And then he concentrates for a second, and some holy light basically goes from him to you.
Why is it spicy?
Well, now I see that we got these good vibes going. Now there's no need to dig a hole, and he's just gonna stand up, go over, and pick up both of the chests.
I don't think you're able to pick up both of them. That is 27,792
it?
gold. That's
What's-
why each one of those is 1 gold is at 0.5, I think, right? 0.5 weight.
Well, 50 coins is 1 pound.
Alright,
So
hold on,
divide
give
the
me a second.
total coins by 50. That should be the amount of pounds. There is like 27,000.
27,000 would be 540 pounds.
It
That's
should be.
555 pounds.
Yeah, yeah. With the powerful build, I'm thinking it's not the most comfortable, but yeah, I think he can tote those around.
That's not feasible. I got my math wrong. I
Uh-oh.
misheard the number. My bad.
Womp womp.
He's just gonna kind of like he kind of like picks a chest, wraps his arms around it, and just begins to go.
My back. My back.
I just look at you and I just say, why do you think I told the bard over here that I pushed and dragged them and not carried them?
Well, now why don't you drop the tone and we can figure out another solution?
We have
What
to go
good
right
is
to
that
that
yellow
tone.
stuff gonna do you anyway? Is it food?
Honestly, I have no clue.
Gold was currency. I'm not sure if it still is in this apocalypse
Reality,
that you're
yeah.
talking about. With the oranges? I've never known oranges to attack people.
Well,
And he
the
just kind of looks wistfully for a second.
Heslef chimes in for the second time. I mean, gold, it has its value, whether it's in coin form or raw. A lot of people accept it as currency.
Well,
She
It's like you're
kind of
carrying around Fort Knox.
leans towards the box and gestures, asking to pick up one of the pieces.
Fort Knox. I've heard of many forts in the area, but not that one. Do you know whereabouts that fort is?
I think he means Fort Nadiara. The one to the northeast? Yeah, Fort Nadiara. Or maybe
The
Fort
what?
Nolan.
I've never heard of these places before.
I'm gonna look at the snake
Fort
person
Nolan?
and just give them a nod.
Yes, I've never heard of Fort Nolan or Fort Knox.
Well, Fort
The
Nolan
only
is kind
knocks
of new.
that I
guess.
know of. The only knocks that I know of are the ones that that you humans get on your knees. My mother used to talk about them. She says it, kind of looking at them as she bites into the gold to see if it's edible.
Well,
I
it does have some give to it, but it doesn't taste good.
I just
Ugh.
shake my head at you.
She shrugs and flicks it back into the box.
Oh yeah, no, I'm taking some incredibly detailed notes at this point about all of you.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
I drew it at heart.
Either way, you guys said you wanted to head to the southeast. Perhaps we should get going. Are you going to be able to drag that pair of chests?
There would be no point in dragging them. It would only slow us down.
Well, if we run into any of these oranges, we could always drop them and continue running.
What time of day is it?
Good question. Let's see. It is 7 in the morning.
And
Well, we've got plenty of daylight ahead of us, so yeah, the sooner that we get going, the easier it would be to make use of the daylight.
I agree.
So the question is north or south?
Well, you
North
guys
or
had said
this way?
southeast, so we may as well head southeast.
Wonderful.
All right.
Maybe I'll hopefully be able to get my answers here. Hopefully answer her question.
Does she still have that pile of dirt in her hand too?
no, she put that pile of dirt down. She's just kind of looking back and forth between you guys now that the hole's filled in.
Let's
So,
extend
wait,
our range
You
here.
said south?
Yes, southeast. There's a village down that way, and he just kind of he points down the road.
Why would you ever want to go there or go there to the village?
I just get a little closer to both of you, and I just look at Xavier, and I just say, "You do realize she's a forest dweller. She's not going to want to go into any civilization, right?"
I understand that. There's nothing wrong with that, but I have tied myself to this group, so if they want to go to the city, that's where I go.
Oh, believe me, I want to see what aftermath of this place has to offer. So.
Well, I don't know what good that's gonna do you, but I know they do have some food, I suppose. But hey, if
Love
you
is
get
gonna
tired,
like wrap his arm or wrap his arm around the snake lady, and grin and just go, perfect. Now we got ourselves a little merry entourage. Why don't we get on going?
Perfect. Onward. As Rala opens up her book and starts writing stuff down as she walks along.
how big this guy is, because I love the image of this guy dragging this 30-foot snake lady.
30 foot?
Yeah,
Well,
she's 30 feet.
Yeah, she's 30 feet long, but she's only
Wow.
medium height.
First thing that came to mind for
Yeah.
me was Deuce Bigelow. That's a huge bitch!
I was
Lovelar
actually
is 8
contemplating
feet
playing a
tall.
Naga as well.
Yeah, she's like, even though she is medium size, quote unquote, she's like 30 foot long and like 700 pounds because she's nothing but giant snake and muscle, you know?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure strength is my second highest quality, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, as we make our way to this point in the road, there is something unusual for many of you, slightly familiar to one of you. It is a metal post with a green sign sticking out of the sand, and the words that are written on it are indecipherable to all of your starting languages. Aside from one of you who can read English perfectly well, and the sign simply says, Roswell, 9 miles.
Oh no!
Is somebody want to speak up and say who can read that?
Yeah, Roswell. I haven't been there in a hot minute. I don't think since. And he kind of sucks his teeth, thinking, since oh gosh, what was it? 5 years ago? No, that was always a fun time. They got those little green spooky alien things.
Xavier has a very perplexed look on his face because he doesn't recognize the name of Roswell either.
You can read this?
Well, of course I can. Can you not all?
I just
Xavier
look at the
shakes his
rest
head
of the
no.
Not exactly.
No, I would need magic to read that.
Well, now, that's interesting. You all are a right weird group. I like you. So we could go to Roswell. They do have some great food there. If you're interested in food, Snake Lady.
That's one of the few things that are necessary in life, so yes, but I am not interested in town.
I mean, if they still even have all the food that they used to, but it's worth checking, I guess.
Looking at it from a distance, you guys can see the city clearer and clearer the closer you get. And as we have discovered at a number of our tables here already, heavily saturated sites of the Agent Orange virus, such as Roswell, have a persistent gloom over them, which so far, as we've discovered, has not had any impediment on dark vision. But for those who are reliant on torches, lanterns, etc., it does seem to hinder the dim light side of those items. The bright light, it doesn't really prohibit, but the dim light, it does.
Would Lovelar recognize that as orange?
You would, yes.
He kind of stops and stiffens up, and he goes, well, god damn, they got here too. Why did they hit in here? Well, I don't think Roswell is quite the way to go. I do think that we need to move past it. I don't recommend going there.
Why not?
You
I
see
still
the
need to figure
snake
out-
just like you notice that she's been like kind of getting slower and slower and like metaphorically dragging her feet the closer we get to the city. And when you say that, she like visibly relaxes and just the whole body just goes kind of thing.
But I still need to figure out how about those sorcerers?
I can tell you for sure right here, right now. We go into that, who knows what's going to happen. I'd be remiss if anything else was alive in there. And you can kind of like see him stiffen up, and there's like a trace of anger across his face for just a moment.
Hey,
While I don't know much
are
about
you
that
okay?
magic,
are you okay?
I'll be fine if we don't go there. I'll be fine.
Why is the GM moving our token closer to the city? This isn't right! Just kidding.
Don't make me no.
don't do this.
Where's
Don't do
Nihilus?
With the
this.
nervousness that this fella seems to have, Xavier is going to basically be put on high alert and just be like scanning around, watching for any movement, anything else
Get
like that
that
might be
bitch off my screen.
Question mark?
Ignore. Keep going.
This is how I would terrorize Richter numerous times through our previous campaign. He would just be walking along, and all of a sudden, the big bad nihilist shows up. He's, get her! Why is he always right there?
The sad part is you would only do it to me on our sessions, and I hated you for it.
Yeah, it
I've
can
only
be a
encountered.
little devil
I've
sometimes.
only encountered. Sorry,
Oh, you're good. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I've only encountered Nihilus once, and I still want nothing to do with it.
Well, thankfully we had our end game, and it took oh man, I think we had like 60 plus allied characters on that board, and we played 4 sessions over 4 days, and they finally beat that guy down.
Did someone
Don't
kick him
remind
in
me.
the nut? Please tell me someone kicked him in the nuts.
I metaphorically did by sacrificing one of my characters to fly 180 feet up to him to kill him. Well, to start his death.
Yeah, he
Oh,
killed a few,
ew.
but we had fortunately the resources to bring most of them back.
I brought chaos.
Oh man.
Oh, yes, I
Yeah, that
remember
first
your
round,
actions,
especially
yeah.
when all those targets were on the board, and I was like trying to grid them off into zones. Like, okay, this zone, let's roll their saves, and you're number 1, you're number 6. I used to number the monsters, but that's just kind of a pain in the ass now, and I don't use it as much as I would otherwise. But that was one situation where I should have frickin' numbered the monsters. All right, passive
I'm gonna-
perceptions. Who's got our best?
I
Mine's
have
an
a
11.
14.
11, 14.
Let me look. Hang on, I forgot.
Though I did specify
got a
I was
15.
actively looking, so I'm not sure if I can roll
10.
it out.
15, 10, active perception. Go ahead, roll that.
15. Woo!
Equal to our best so far. Okay. So there is a large cloud of smoke that is rapidly approaching from the city of Roswell. Whatever this thing is, it is moving at very many miles per hour towards your current location. And all you guys can make out of it is just smoke.
Is it just normal colored smoke, or is it like
It is.
okay? Yeah, I agree with him. I feel like she kind of gestures to Marcel, and she's like, "I agree with him. We should probably avoid that general area, and we should probably avoid it quickly."
I'm just gonna reach for my great sword, and I'm just gonna look at the rest of you and just say, "All right, we can retreat if you choose, but I will be watching the back just in case."
We're
Can
all
we
just
see in the distance this place over here?
There is just the tiniest indication of the small forestry town of Delan, which coincidentally enough is the starting location for the very first Animir campaign all the way back in 2002. And from what glimpse you can make of it from here, it looks unaltered. Unlike
I was 6 years old.
wow.
Why don't we go there? And he points towards the other town.
Well, looks at the city.
I'm
Smoke
sorry.
cloning along with Jake Klingon. Sorry, Glux. Maybe
Oh,
some
you're
other
good, buddy.
time.
Take your time.
No, it's just speaking in character.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
Just goes like, sorry, Glux. Maybe some other time.
Well, if we're gonna be going to the other place, we might as well start now, as I
Well,
start
how
walking, but
are you
keep
going
my eye
to
on the
try
town.
to avoid this cloud of smoke that is rapidly approaching your destination?
Fast. Become
We can-
fast.
Go across country if we really needed to.
Are we? So we're just like hoofing it as fast as we can, like just across the open there. So yeah, it's pretty flat plains. Occasional rolling here and there, but Eucor is very like Northern California is where I was at the time when I designed this country.
Real quick question: Can I have a ready action?
You can put a ready
Okay.
action on, yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna, just in case anything makes a melee attack, I'm gonna cast Angelic Guardian, just in case.
Okay. Oh, no worries there, Parker. It wasn't as bad as it was. Oh God, what was it last week when I made mention of a D&D campaign from '97, and I think it was Ari on Sunday morning who said I was 1 year old.
I was 3 in '97.
I'm older than all of you.
Yeah,
So don't even.
I wasn't
Yeah,
even born
no.
in '97.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
yeah.
If
'cause
it
we were
makes y'all
talking-
feel better, my students do that a lot because I'm a teacher and they'll do that. I'll be like, oh yeah, I listened to this song in like 2004, and they're like, yeah, I wasn't born then, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah.
If we're gonna take ready actions, I will just, if anything gets close enough for me, I will attack it with my sword.
All right.
That's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Don and
I'm
I
ready.
remember before the internet.
So do I.
Like too.
Yeah, I was born in 1969.
Ooh, good year.
Woodstock.
I bought my
Um,
first real 6-string.
Nice.
Bought it at the 5 and
don't.
dime.
Well,
Anyway, I'm
something comes
actually-
rolling up the road, and you guys are. I mean, this thing is going much faster than you guys can really hope to. And it catches up to where you guys were at pretty quickly and screeches to a halt. There are people inside. All of them appear to be human. They are all wearing rather strange garb, unless you're familiar with survivalist, modern survivalist gear, and modern artillery as well. Each of them are carrying a rifle or pistol of some type. And they are all scanning the horizon and looking very blatantly in your direction as you guys are just hoofing it across the countryside.
They're people.
They're kind of the driver is the only one who does not appear armed. You guys are maybe like a football field, 100 yards, 150 yards or so at this point, and the driver just kind of like sticks an arm out, kind of does like a half-hearted wave, and just keeps the van parked where it is, as if to see what your response is.
Xavier will wave back towards them. I don't
Yeah, I'll
think
just look
we're
at him.
hostile.
Lovelar's gonna stick out a thumb like a hitchhiker's thumb.
They gesture like a wave, like, come on down.
Frolic is like, hello?
Xavier will start walking towards them. They don't
I'll
seem
follow, yeah.
So we're Lala.
They don't seem hostile.
They don't seem hostile. First of all, they're people. Second of all, do you see those things they're carrying? Those things are like magic missiles, but small. Okay? You don't mess with them.
I won't put away my sword, but I will. But I will like lower it in terms of like it's like kind of dragging on the ground. Sort of.
If they wanted us dead, they would have shot already. Now there's nothing a little harm in talking things out. We can always come to a peaceful resolution. And he elbows the snake lady in the ribs if she has ribs.
She is 90% rib, okay? I don't know if you know about snake anatomy, but they are 90% rib.
If we're still far enough away that we're out of earshot, Xavier will say, and if they decide to be hostile, I can always incinerate them all.
The snakes really don't
She's
have
gonna-
Be too
hearts.
sure about that, but I appreciate the gesture.
She's gonna brush at the bit of her clothing that's been singed after your first go round, and she's gonna be like, yeah, I figure.
It was a
So-
gift from an angel.
She is
Dawn
not
is
happy
the
about
only obvious human here.
Yeah, mine would. The Simic hybrid would appear elven to anybody not familiar with the Simic hybrids.
Xavier looks human, except horribly, horribly burned
Yeah.
human.
I'm very badly burned.
Yep, so I'm obviously the only human.
All right. Well, there are 3 guys in this van. They are all riding in the front. And as you approach, they kind of angle the van around so that the passenger side guy, who's just kind of casually brandishing a pistol out the window, gives a beaming smile
as
at
you
your
do.
approach. Oh, you guys are an unusual lot. You're not thinking of heading into that city there, are you?
As a matter of fact, we saw the outskirts of the city, and my companions and I have decided that it may not be a great place to be. What information can you give us about it?
It is heavily overrun with the living dead. And my friends and I are just coming from there, as a matter of fact, with a few of us who actually made it out. And if history is any indication, within the next hour, these entire plains are going to be swarming with those things as they try to seek out those of us who escaped. It's good you're not going into the city, but you might not want to linger out here either.
Rolla picks up going, oh, you guys came from the city?
We did.
Oh, maybe you can help answer that question I've been looking forward to.
There'll be plenty of time for talking if you want to find a safer locale. For the time being, well, what say you to a lift up the road? See, we all get a breath and a nice drink of water.
Xavier
That
is
sounds-
looking at the vehicle because he's never seen anything like that before.
Right?
And he's like, well, I did see that town over there, and I point over towards Delan. It's a little further away, so would it be safe, do you think?
We haven't been over into that location yet. That town is, do you know anything about it?
I do not. This entire area seems very unfamiliar to me. I don't think I'm where I was before.
That makes a common tale then. Why don't y'all hop in though? And the back of the van opens up by remote
I want to see the
control.
candy first.
I
I don't want
wanna.
to make that mistake again.
While all that's happening, Ballard will just put away his sword and just start walking around the van, like looking at it,
Yeah,
more
there's,
intrigued about it because it's a little bit less high tech than he's used to, or was used to.
Sure.
Where
there's-
are
I
the
am-
horses for your carriage?
Inside
Don't be
of
silly,
the
it's a van.
Yeah.
What
Well, I
is
guess
a
it
van?
Preo is also gonna start looking all around the van, but mainly because she can basically circle the van, and so she is trying to figure out how she's gonna get inside this creature.
Certainly an odd a thing, but might as well have fun and see what it's all about.
Xavier
Mar-
is going to peek his head in the door that opened up and look inside.
Marcel has never encountered anything like this, but he acts as if this is like completely normal to him because he's just calm, cool, collected. So yeah, he's gonna get in the van.
All
Well,
right.
heads on inside and get the seat.
Yeah,
Hopefully
there's 2 rows of seats there, each lining the sides of the van in the back. There is a human lady sitting in the back, also with a rifle across her lap. And she is just all kinds of scratched, banged, bloodied, and exhausted. It looks like she has been through the ringer, and she just gives you guys a very exhausted nod as the door opens up. And kind of like Marcel, this is probably the first time that she's seen a group of people so strange, but at the same time, she's just like, whatever.
I'll
Oh
just
my! Do you need
before
some
I get-
assistance, man?
before I get in, I'll just go ahead and go over to the snake lady and just say, "Do you need help getting in?"
The lady inside the van heaves a sigh. Got a cigarette?
Oh, I was talking. I was talking to Tabashi, not the lady inside.
Yes, I'm answering Mike, who was talking
my bad,
right
my
before
bad,
you.
My bad.
I don't have a cigarette, but I might be able to help with the wounds. He reaches forward. May I?
No objection.
And he does a little chant and touches her with Cure Wounds.
Oh, very nice. What are we looking at? 7. Oh, shit. Yeah, that will restore her back to full. Yeah, she was pretty bloodied, but yeah, that will help out a lot.
I take the loot off my back and I start strumming it nonchalantly.
I'm just gonna resignedly kind of just, the more I look at this van, I'm just gonna just nod with a defeated posture, like, yeah, probably.
I'm gonna open up my book and start writing down more names I can think of.
Once everyone else is inside the van, I'll just try to pick up the snake lady and shove her into the back of the van as I climb in.
So
So
my
awkward.
my very first of all, like I said, this is a very large snake lady, so I'm since everyone else was in there first, I'm imagining her on top of just draped over everyone's lap kind of
Oh,
thing.
my
and I'm just
hope
sitting
is
there.
everyone else will help me try to pull you in.
Wait,
since
how
you said
tall-
you're like 700.
Or long is she?
She said
She
30
is
feet.
30 feet long.
That's like colossal.
Like I said, she literally can encircle the van.
Dan, when did you start letting colossal characters be part of the game?
No, that's normal. She is normal height. She is considered a normal sized character or a medium sized character, but she has 30 foot of snake behind her.
See, I always thought those were the Naga that had that, and the Yuan-Ti were the ones that still looked humanoid.
It depends on
There
the
wasn't-
variety of Yuan-Ti as well, because they have a few
Yeah.
different sub-races.
Yeah,
Well, cool.
I'm a Naga, but they didn't have an option for Naga, but that's what I am.
I would usually go on full on snake and whatnot.
That's hilarious because I was contemplating playing a Naga.
Yeah, I heard you say that earlier. I was like, oh, that would have been fun.
Lovelar is gonna turn to the driver and just go, "Now, what make and model is this? I prefer to drive in a Volkswagen. They always got the best room, but this one will do in a pinch."
Is your skin also cold to the touch as a normal reptile?
Yeah, it's very much like a normal snake.
You would notice that Xavier does give off a little more heat than normal.
I draped over everyone's lap like a blanket. I am enjoying this warmth.
If I'm
What?
not mistaken, it's a 67 Chevy.
Ooh,
What?
now that is a good one as well. I traveled in a few of those a couple back in my day.
Some
Now, I do appreciate
modifications,
you
of
for the
course.
lift.
You
Oh,
seem
I posted the
familiar
Naga
with this.
stats and stuff in the chat.
Well, no. Yeah. No. Well, what kind of name is that? Oh,
Xavier is looking at the gun that the woman is holding as well. And he's just like, what is that?
She just kind of holds it up curiously and raises an eyebrow to the question. It's a gun.
What does it
shooting?
do?
For shooting people? She kind of looks around at some of your equipment and finds one of you who has a bow and kind of points at that. It's like 10 times better than one of those.
What kind of ammo does it use?
It uses bullets.
Okay.
Lovelar is also
Not-
looking
okay.
at you guys strangely, like you should also know this.
You need a weapon to be able to shoot things from a distance?
Doesn't everyone? Even at the most basic level, you have to pick up the rock before you can throw it.
I just summon arcane energy and fire it at people.
They're a little bit crazy. I've been traveling with them.
She laughs and calls up to the guys in the front. I think this one's on acid.
If you want to witness, I saw it, and also I would prefer just hand to hand instead of ranged. But
As
Rah,
part of
rah,
my
rah.
performing, I start using prestidigitation to start creating some sparkly lights to go along with my music.
She seems to
Oh,
kind of
ro-
register that she's also been magically healed within the past few seconds. And
That took her a while.
just kind of raises an eyebrow and is, well, it's a different world.
well, just takes
Apparently.
a look. Well, just takes a look at the looks a look out from the book, going. You haven't heard of anything like anything of the Arcana?
after she says
Like
this
the
is a different
occult? Not
Would
really.
never associate with the occult. She literally she hisses at the
Yeah.
Well,
suggestion.
Yeah,
My
the
powers-
lady nods along with the hissing snake, although she seems a little kind of terrified that you're also on her.
My
No.
powers are gifted to me by a deal with an angel. That's why I can heal people.
Well, now y'all just seem crazy. Whoa!
I'll just mumble under my breath. Well, you tend to be a little crazy when you're from a different world.
I suppose that would explain. I suppose that would explain why all of you seem quite different and whatnot.
So
What?
now, Miss, I have a real quick question for you. You saying that you came from Roswell, correct?
Were you talking to me?
He said
the-
miss, so I think he's talking to the DM.
Oh, sorry, what's going on?
Lovelar turns to the lady and just goes, "Well, now, Miss, I do have a couple questions for you, if you don't mind me answering. You did come from Roswell, correct?
Just recently, yes.
How in the hell did they get Agent Orange on American soil? I thought they weren't supposed to be using that here.
That's been the big mystery for the last couple of years since the apocalypse.
Wait,
the
wait,
best
What is Agent
What?
Orange? And what is
Years.
America?
I was
This-
gonna say also over the table. Didn't
I'm
America
sorry.
make Agent
I'm
Orange?
sorry. I'll answer one at a time. I'm still a bit woozy from being in the thick of it with those things. The short of it is the world that we now find ourselves in has been in its death throes for the past couple of years. Some kind of chemical weapon, and this is speculation from our best and brightest. Nobody knows exactly for sure. But a chemical weapon that was released in an overseas conflict that you may know as Vietnam. The after effects of it, combined with what was it? How was it? He said a unique atmospheric phenomena mutated this weapon into an airborne virus that saturated itself on a planet-wide scale. And ever since then, there have been what we call the living dead. If you've seen the movie The Night of the Living Dead, yes, that is directly where we took it from. The movie only
What
came
is
out
What's
a
a
few years
movie?
ago.
What is a movie?
Yeah,
Assume
what's
that
a
last
movie?
part wasn't in character.
It's a play.
Lovelar is gonna hold his hand up to like quiet everyone as he's like listening in intently, and he's just, I get it. Y'all aren't from around here. Hold your questions till the end.
It's a recorded play of sort. Imagine having the screenplay, I suppose, but in a more visual fashion.
Oh, I love plays. I haven't seen one since I was small. They can't sneak me in anymore, so
You tell me. I might have been going to the wrong place all this time. I'm just to find.
Well, that's pretty much the setup, though. The undead, the living dead, whatever it is that each group calls them their own thing. In this region, we call them the living dead, LD for short. They do not perish naturally. They sustain themselves on living flesh, although not in the same way that you and I sustain ourselves. They do not need to eat to survive. They seem to just eat out of necessity, out of curiosity, out of pleasure. It is known that a single bite from one of them will infect you, and you will begin the transformation into one of them within a matter of hours, a day at the most. So if any of you have been bitten or are ever around one who is bitten, your departure, or as cruel as it may seem, their swift execution is likely your best chance of survival. And out of game, yeah, this is very bad information she's giving you. It's outdated.
As soon as she says that, I turn and I look at the one fella who came into our camp bitten.
Yeah, he's kind of like.
I take a look at Helsa too.
Heslif is just kind of looking at all of you guys like, don't say a word. I feel fine. Don't shoot me.
I'm just gonna lean closer to him and just whisper to him and just say, "What would you give for me not to say anything?"
How about some gold?
I'd rather some candy right now, man.
So, you're saying that if somebody has been bitten, that they're going to turn into one of those things?
Without fail. Every time.
does
This
that
is
work
the
for
world
things
we've lived
that
in for a couple of years now.
I just start visibly like scratching my head, like curiously wondering.
How long has
Is that-
Heslop been with the party?
Go ahead, Parker.
She looks she kind of turns from where she's leaning on from where she's on top of everybody, I guess, but she's like, does that count for any other things? If I bite something, will it turn into one into a snake like me?
Lovelar will hold out his hand for her to bite.
I highly doubt that. Plus,
That's
I don't think
beyond
that's-
my experience. I can't say for certain.
So
I don't
how
think
long
that's-
has Heslop been with us? Altogether, like how many hours?
Maybe like 6-7 hours.
So beyond the time that she said it takes for them to turn.
Well, she said at most a day.
Okay. Um, have these creatures shown any sign of intelligence?
Never. They seem to instinctively know where the largest centers of living flesh are, and they gather together like a horde. And it is quite disturbing to see when there are thousands of them all gathered, slowly shambling across the countryside. But it is what we have grown accustomed to, today being the exception. The group that we encountered in Roswell were what we would call fresh. They are about as close to their living forms as they can be, as if they were only recently infected, recently turned. They still move as fast as they ever did. They still have some level of agility, balance, as opposed to the ones that have been around for a while. They seem to just kind of aimlessly wander about.
Do these things not rot?
They decay. We have never seen one in 2 years that has decayed fully down to nothing.
Disgusting.
Further
She
along
shivered.
this road to the north is the settlement of New Ford. It is the only bastion of civilization. It is perhaps not a settlement in the respect that you would come to know it, but I do encourage you to at least have a look at it and see if it is something that you might become a part of. We are always in need of good, capable people, and with this sudden shift in events, having people who may be more familiar with aspects of it that we are not could be beneficial to both sides.
Well, I suppose it is necessary to experience new frontiers.
If that is where this group wishes to go, I will go with them. I've already tied myself to them and said I would help.
There is
Hold on a minute.
there is value in the good old saying of safety in numbers, but that would
No,
be
no,
up
no,
to
no, no.
everyone else here.
Why would we ever want to go anywhere near any of this mess?
It's not that you have much of a choice. This is the mess you live in now. The real question is, where can you put your head down at night so that this mess doesn't kill you while you sleep?
Well, I was perfectly happy in the woods until I got dragged along here. Is that not safe?
We
I should
didn't
think not.
drag you. You offered to come with us.
No, remember he put his arm around her and literally dragged her with them?
Yep.
Also, I might add that I was also in the forest, but it seems only coincident that neither of us have encountered any of these oranges up until now. So
The driver looks back and he stares right through the fourth wall. The only reason they weren't killed is because it was session 0, ladies and gentlemen.
exactly.
And feel free to continue the RP here. I will be stepping away for our halftime break here. Get some coffee or some kind of energy. Grab a smoke if you got it. Stretch your legs out. We will see you shortly, friends. Are you with us?
I will be right back then, ladies and gentlemen.
Me too.
As will I.
Yep, I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be right back.
Go walk
Right.
the dog.
Now I spend my days looking back on life. It all makes sense. You met this other guy. All my assumptions prove to be right, but I'm trying to grasp you're on the other side. Guess something died.
I have returned.
Hello.
Are you here, Parker?
I am. That startled me.
I apologize about scorching you.
It is totally fine. Snakes like being warm.
Oh, she was really warm.
And again, totally deserve it.
Well, if she likes being warm, she's gonna definitely like Xavier then because, well, he's pretty warm.
We will be friends.
I highly recommend food, just at all times. Food is so good.
Food
Food is
wonderful.
good, yes. There is something that I've been craving when it comes to food recently, and I haven't had a chance to go get one. Have you ever heard of a panzerotti or a puffio?
I have heard of neither.
So imagine a pizza folded in half and made into a pizza pocket, except pizza-sized.
Calzone, yeah.
No, not a calzone. Calzones have the open ends. Puffio and the panzerotti is basically a fold-sealed pocket.
You know, I was just thinking, maybe we should have left her back in the woods, because we're going to an entire encampment of humans, and lots of them are uncomfortable with the idea of having a snake living with them.
Yeah, that's another reason of why she stays in the woods, because most humans don't like small snakes, and she is a very not small snake.
Okay, in human defense, as a registered human, small snakes are scary because they can hide. I would rather run away from a garden snake than an anaconda. Like an anaconda, I can be like, okay, you're there, I can just grab you.
You know what?
Well,
Though, because I am much more scared of teeny tiny wolf spiders than I am of giant tarantulas. Because at least tarantulas, I'm like, okay, I know exactly where you are, and you're not gonna hide in my shoe or something. But the little bitty dime-sized spiders, they can be anywhere. So I get it.
I love
No,
the fact that you
exactly.
call a wolf spider teeny tiny. I've seen one the size of my hand before. In fact, I've touched one the size of my hand and flung it out into a river.
That I have also seen a wolf spider the size of my hand, so I don't know where I got that from either. So.
As someone with severe arachnophobia, absolutely not. Y'all are fucking crazy. I don't give a fuck. If I see a spider, it's on not for the spider, but for me. I'm killing myself.
Yeah,
That is hilarious. You would hate my computer room then, because it's down in a basement, and I have spiders that live around. They catch the flies for me.
My
And-
partner is the same way. He like just lets
You're
spiders
nasty.
live in his room. It's he has no problem with them, and I'm like, I would rather die. I'm not sleeping in this house.
You're nasty, you're gross. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable feral behavior.
I haven't
man.
seen the jumping spider in a while. He was around.
Hey man,
here.
one of my favorite pets ever is a fucking spider. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, okay, my arachnophobia is not bad when they're on the other side of a container, like if they're on the other side of a pane of glass or something. I don't have a problem with them. But if there is nothing but air between me and them, I'm not happy. No.
Oh
If-
hell
if-
no! It wasn't on the other side of the glass. My freaking spider would it would climb on my shoulders and shit, and was a tarantula. So.
See, that's what I was saying a few minutes ago, that I don't have a problem with tarantulas because they're big and I know where they are. But if it's the really small ones, like the jumping spiders that are tiny, and I'm like, I don't know where you are. You could be like in my water bottle and I could accidentally drink you and things like that. Like, no, they freak me
Oh,
out.
hell
New
no.
fear fucking unlocked. I hate that.
Do you
I'm
know the
sorry.
funniest part about that though is the jumping spiders? I'm not sure if you can see. I've got Lucas in my hand up here. But jumping spiders are actually one of the most harmless ones to humans, and they're actually very intelligent. They make great pets, and there's a video of a guy who's taught his jumping spider to fist bump him.
Cool, they can be
Oh,
as
cool.
intelligent as humans or beyond. I don't give a fuck. They're creepy, they're nasty.
They are smart, and I know, like, logically, I know their benefit to the environment and how wonderful spiders are for the ecosystem, but they have too many legs and too many eyes, and it freaks me out when they move.
Surprisingly, that's what people said to me about my rat when I had one.
Rats are really
More-
cool. Rats are clean. Rats are awesome. I like rats.
How many
Rats
legs
are-
did your rat
Rats
have that
can't
that was
kill you.
something they said to you?
Oh no, I wasn't talking about the leg part. I was just talking about in general. Especially since rats are deceptively one of the most cleanest rodents like to exist. So, well,
Just don't leave belly
domesticated
on
ones,
your-
That is, but
Just don't leave honey on your belly or they'll eat through your stomach.
and the only time my rat ever bit me was because I forgot to feed it.
You know what?
Feed
That's
it in
fair.
the morning, that is. But
I would also bite you in that situation. Like, I totally get it.
look, that was a long night that I had. Okay.
It was the first thought I had when you said you forgot to feed it. I was like, to what? Because my friend has a very, very large snake.
Nah, that rat was cool. I would usually play D&D online or something like that, and I just let it out and just chill on my shoulder while I was playing D&D.
My friend had a rat, and every time she had like 3 rats, but this one rat really liked me, and it would come up and it would like clean me, and it would like start grooming my fingers and everything, and it was adorable, and it made me so happy. I put sweet potato inside a paper towel tube and stuffed it with paper towel, and that was the best gift that rat ever got. It was so happy.
My rat was literally content with just its cage and burying itself every 5 seconds. That's all the entertainment it needed. It would literally not use any of the toys that I bought it, like any of the wood sticks or any of the hoops and shit.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick.
Welcome back, y'all.
Bruh, you literally got
Thank you,
back
sir.
the minute letter C left.
It's Sunday night and he had to go potty.
That used to be my alarm to get up to school.
Hey,
we ported that in specifically for Grant on Monday nights or Tuesday nights
Yeah.
as it is now because he was developing a habit of falling asleep during the last hour of this session. So I was like, let's put this in, and if he still has his headset on, that's going to be a very, very nice.
I almost
is
chose her my
hilarious.
peanut butter cracker.
That's my doggo barking at out there. Pop Lou, come here.
Just a skinwalker. It's okay.
Yeah, probably.
No. We don't refer to those. That we don't summon them. Okay.
So we have parked here in a small grove of trees between the mysterious recently appeared Dylan and the upcoming new Ford. We have been encouraged to continue with our new companions here for the rest of the way, but of course, if you wish to get out, the guy who initially greeted you at the passenger side looks
I'm
around
back.
and says, "Welcome back. Looks like all's clear in this area, so if you opt not to come with us and you want to get out, this is as good a location as any."
I have no problems going wherever these people wish to go. If they want to go to the town with you, I'd be okay with that as well.
Yeah, we don't really have a sense of direction as of right now.
Are we at least in a
Safer to
safe?
Oh, great. I can nap
Sorry.
again.
It would probably be safer to travel with more numbers just in case. Of course.
Yeah, you're real soft.
Thanks.
She gonna Pro is gonna kind of like adjust herself a little bit and say, "Is this a safe of enough spot for us to like get out and stretch? This is not comfortable."
Definitely,
I
we
just-
can park here for a bit.
I just looked down at you and said, "No shit. You're on everybody's side."
Maybe I'll get in first next time. How's that?
So we're all sitting on her.
That would be better, I
Crutch.
guess.
I might need some time to reflect. Actually,
Fair enough. Why doesn't everybody take a 5 minutes break? Smoke if you got 'em.
All right.
She just like
As soon as she says the smoke,
Whoa.
if you got him, Xavier will like look at his shoulders, kind of touch his hair to make certain he's not smoking at the moment.
just slowly like the tail just goes across everyone's lap as she like climbs out of the car.
I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm just gonna pull out my greatsword and just start sharpening it as it becomes a little bit more peaceful inside of the van.
Looking at the woman who was talking to me about these guns.
What about her?
Can you show me how those work? And I'll show you how my arcane powers work.
Are your powers limited?
No.
I do have a bit of a shortage of ammunition right now, and these things make a lot of noise. I can show you the gist of it, but maybe without actually shooting one off.
Okay, I can just show you my thing if you want.
Raula gets out of the van and just flies on top
You know,
of it. And just
If you're in
starts
the back
to
of the van, don't offer to show people things without being more specific of what you're going to show them.
We keep stepping on each other here as well in the voice chat. So if you hear somebody starting to go into something and you have something as well, let's wait for them to finish before we start something up new here, please and thank you.
Raula gets out of the van and then starts to fly up on top of it and just starts to reflect on the stuff that's been happening so far about being in a new world and whatnot.
So Xavier will step out of the van, offer a hand to that lady to help her out. And he'll be like, well, here, let's use that tree stump over there as an example. Okay?
She steps out, but does not accept the proffered hand.
That's fine. So he points out a tree stump and he's like, okay, so say that's an enemy coming towards us, correct? And he just kind of like raises his hand, does a little flick with the wrist and everything else, and an Eldritch Blast will shoot out of his hand and hit the tree stump.
Oh, Eldritch Blast. Yeah, everybody's got that. That's not that big of a deal. She's like, whoa! And then she kind of chuckles. Are trees a common enemy where you come from?
No, that was just an example. If trees were, I would just burn them to cinders.
I see.
Can I, since I'm outside the vehicle, did I witness this?
Yes.
Can I play? Can I play? Let me try.
Okay.
Okay, that wasn't what I meant to do. I meant to... There we go, that's what I want to do. I wanted to cast one of my cantrips. I wanted to do Starburst.
Okay. Are you casting it near any creatures who would need to make a save, or just kind of doing it for the visual display?
For the visual display, yeah. I'm gonna, like, cinderize the tree trunk a little more, I guess.
Gotcha. Which one of your characters had stepped behind that tree to relieve themselves? Because it just got a little interesting over here. It's like everybody's trying to attack you now. Come on, guys. I thought this was a place of privacy.
As you're the privacy, as you're suddenly illuminated with, like, all of the light.
Marcel
that's
chuckles.
what I can take is Starburst? Nice.
Marcel had created a prestidigitation illusion of an outhouse that somebody foolishly went into, and now they're discovering.
That would be more like minor illusion, and I don't have that yet.
Right, yeah, that's what So after some time spent here in break, some canteens are passed around. The water's definitely warmer than most of you are used to. Outside of the apocalyptic setting, they don't have any food, but after the break is over, they kind of look over at the rest of you. So what do you think? Are we continuing on without you, or do you want to check out where we come from?
Well, I'm going to use prestidigitation to cool the water. And then...
Beautiful.
So it's nice, cool water. I don't... You know, it would be very interesting to go and see other people. However, what would your establishment think of people who look different, like my companions do?
I just look at you and just say, you don't have to sugarcoat it. You can just... right.
Rallis is just sadly looking at the sky while I'm just going, sorry, Eric. Looks like I won't be able to make it back in time.
It would certainly be a first. Us encountering you out in the wilderness is unprecedented amongst our society. But as the entire landscape and reality around us seems to have changed, I would think at the very least an exchange of information could be beneficial. I'm not suggesting that you necessarily make our place a place to live. I can't even make that offer myself. But coming to check us out, finding perhaps a few things here and there that you might have use of, maybe getting a good night's rest, that is something I can offer.
Do you have a sunning rock?
I think something could fit that for you.
Well,
Well, they
now
hit-
hear that.
Sorry.
Well, now I look at that. Civil rights has gone so far. We do appreciate the offer.
So, guys, are we going with them?
I wouldn't be opposed. I'm okay with joining them as long as everyone else is cool with it.
If that's the case, Xavier will start climbing into the van again.
Before he does, I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder and say, no. I'm going first this time. You guys are not comfortable to be on top of.
I'm already in the van, but I just walked to the end of the van and I'm like, do you want me to pull you in?
I do
Oh.
appreciate the help, yes.
I kind of
Well-
found the extra weight comfortable on my lap, but okay.
Well, since I have nowhere else to go, and I guess I'll have to come with you guys.
I'm sure I could get some marvelous stories from them.
I look over at the furball, sorry, character name is shit, just,
Lovelar.
Lavar, thank you, sorry. I look over at Lavar and I just say, so are you in as well, or what do you say?
I ain't never travel alone, and I'm not gonna start now. And he's gonna hop in and start helping you with Parker, pulling her in.
All right, get comfortable.
Rala just someone just walks inside the van and just takes a seat.
All right. Well, the speed at which we are able to traverse the landscape here is just light speed compared to what you guys are used to, even on the best horse. Going 24 miles in a day as opposed to 35, 45 miles an hour. I mean, yeah. There's
Horses, that's what I'm used to.
yep.
Horses.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
be
me
the case for
too.
most
Totally
of the,
used to horses.
right.
So, I do have a question as we're on our way to this destination of yours.
The silent middled passenger in the front seat. Oh, another question. All right.
Well, if you're going to be rude about it, we don't have to ask.
Oh, by all means.
Look, we're very different from you, and most people don't handle different well. Why were you guys so chill about it?
They kind of all look around at each other. I imagine where you come from, the site of abnormal is maybe not so abnormal. And while we're certainly not familiar with folk of your kind, this entire world has been fucked for a good number of years now. So, if we see people of any type, really, who seem like they might be of use to us, who we might be able to help out along the way, that's something we might just chance.
I suppose then that you never exactly heard of anything like a sorcerer before.
I mean, she, I think, nailed it best in the back there. The occult, I mean, that's been our experience until we just saw that little light show you guys put on out there in the field a few minutes ago.
Sorry, it was just something I had to get out of my mind since I've been hoping on going to a king or some place and if I got figure out an answer, but now it just seems like I won't be able to answer it anytime soon. I'm being stuck in this new world.
Yeah, that's kind of been part of the normal fucktitude of this situation for a good number of years. People not knowing what happened to their family, what happened to their friends, what happened to their entire situation. I'd say for the first year, nobody even really made heads or tails of why any of this happened. It was just civilization collapsed one day and we're all stuck in the middle of it trying to find a way to survive.
Yeah. He just wipes a tear off from her face.
Where are y'all from, if you don't mind me asking before all of this?
We were from Well, we come from all over. Most of us native to New Mexico. A few from Arizona. A couple Utah, Nevada. For by and large, though, the this community sprung forth from truth or consequences.
Ah, so the desert. Gotcha. Just trying to figure out what kind of people you are.
Well, they're obviously human people.
Let's try it now. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can
I can hear you.
Have you been hearing me when I've been talking for like the past 5 minutes?
I don't think so.
You
No.
got out a few minutes
No.
ago. It seemed like.
Okay. So, as they were traveling and everything else, Xavier asks, like, I don't know any of these countries or towns that you're mentioning. Where are they in relation to Azrim?
I'm guessing probably the same place that Bizarro World is compared to the place that you just named. It would seem that people and places are not where they're supposed to be. This whole landscape was mostly still somewhat green, but more desert than anything up till a couple days ago. But remarkably, our encampment is all still the same.
Have you seen any dragons around?
No.
To that, Xavier kind of like sits back and looks perplexed and a little frustrated.
If as soon as he says there's no dragons, Bauer just looks a little bit more relieved.
I
Well,
keep
just-
seeing this weird Sith Lord guy running around, though. He's
I don't fucking remind me.
Wait.
Roll
if
roll
they
then
are-
up.
Sorry.
It's fine. Rolla just upholds her sleeve, showing what looks to be a dragonish arm, and just stares at it for a minute after hearing about the dragons.
Wait. If there are no dragons, then are there people like me?
All four of them in the van just kind of shrug, and the lady says, "Look, I'm sure you guys have as many questions as we do. We are barely experts in the undead. We have no knowledge whatsoever of where you come from or what the situation might be or why you're here. All I can say is the situation is what it is, and there's no getting around it. You're just gonna have to find your way to your new normal."
In Celestial, Xavier says, kind of like offering up a prayer to the angel, "Where is it that you have dropped me off at? I don't recognize any of these."
I have another question.
I want to pause here for a second as well. It should also be worth mentioning that I don't understand a word any of you are saying, except for the Furbolg. And likewise, you guys don't understand anything that they're saying in response, except as translated through the Furbolg, because he's the only one that speaks Common and English.
That's what I figured.
Wait, common
Hey,
is
fun.
not to sound racist, but common is not English?
It is not.
It is not. That's why I haven't been
It's-
talking to the people.
It's its own separate language.
Correct. So D&D worlds, you have Common. Star Wars Galaxy, you have Basic. And then, of course, Earth. In America, we have English.
America!
America. Great.
That's really the only reason why I haven't been fully interacting with the NPCs.
still have another question.
Okay.
Why haven't you guys tried purifying the undead if they're such a problem? Don't you have priests?
We barely have food and water. People who fit specific skills that would be optimal to a situation, that's a fucking pipe dream.
I guess that's fair.
How long has this drive taken?
We drove about 30-ish miles, so just under an hour, counting the break.
So would that be enough to count as a short rest?
It could if you wanted to take one.
I wouldn't mind taking one while we're on the trip.
Okay.
That gets my spell back.
Now, real quick, what are y'all gonna do when the gas runs out?
What is gas? Like poison gas? Is there poison gas? Do we have to worry about that? As he covers his mouth.
He says that in complete English without translating. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's funny that you should mention that. Normal fuel ran out a long time ago. We have ways of adapting, but even that has become a trickier thing of late.
Over the
Okay, well,
table,
y'all are
they don't
using-
have... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, over the table, they don't have, like, they're not mulching up the rest of the zombies in the gas tank, are they? Is that what's going on?
There's no evidence of that.
Perfect, y'all are using biodiesel. I've been trying to protest for that stuff to be used a long time ago.
Yeah, that's more of our techie department than what I'm familiar with. All I know is that the situation might be changing once again here as you guys roll into this little exterior neighborhood here on the outskirts of New Ford. Looks like all of these houses have been thoroughly ransacked and in many cases burned down to the foundation. And this is one of the maps that I had brought up a number of days ago that I designed for a campaign we ran back in 2019, and just due to circumstances outside of my control, we ended up never getting here. So very cool that we can finally check out the community of New Ford. Just gonna reveal all of it in a wide swath here. Many of these locations have no indication on the outside just what their purpose is. Some of them you can kind of make out as we travel along the southern road here. Oh, what's going on here in Twitchland? Oh, we got a new follower. Thank you very kindly. Gaming Cyber Dragon, are you with us? Thank you, thank you. As you are heading down this road here on the west side of New Ford, we pass a gas station that is completely empty. Some parks on the side there. Our ultimate destination down here to the southeast, the fortified compound inside of the fortified township. And in addition to the van that you guys have just driven in with, there are a number of other vehicles parked out here. and it would look like this 2-story office building is the destination. There's also a small apartment complex inside of these walls where it looks like perhaps the most important of the important people here live.
So, sorry, that was this building? Oh, sorry. It was behind my character sheet. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Um,
apartments
while we
over
are
here.
driving around, do we see anybody like walking around or walking in the open?
There are a few people walking around. They all appear to be in the same context as the companions you're with here, on sentry duty, you would guess.
Do any of them like notice us specifically, or are we like in terms of like hidden
it's-
in the van?
Yes, yeah, it's a closed van. They don't see.
Okay, gotcha.
I am not gonna get out of the van, by the way. I'm just gonna stay in the van and like peek out through the doors. Because until I like get more comfortable with how many people there are.
I'm gonna wait for everybody to get out of the van, then I'm just gonna look at you and just wait until you're ready and then pull you out.
We have
Xavier
already
will
met
step out.
one of the residents here of this civilization, one known as Jung. There are 2 others who you will be introduced to here in short order. But, yep, Jung will step out first and make her way into the fortifications. And, along with her other companions, they seem to just kind of be waiting for you to follow along.
Yep, I follow along.
Because Love is
I follow.
the translator, Love is gonna follow first.
I follow
Awesome.
along as well.
I'm just gonna slowly get out, and then I'm just gonna watch the snake and just say, "You coming?"
No, I'm good. You can report back to me later. I'm gonna wait until I make sure that they don't have any pitchforks or torches.
Is there like another human nearby? Like a guard or something like that?
Yeah.
Did you just say
Um,
ye?
I say yeah.
Oh, you cut out before.
You
it
did. You
ended.
cut out. You just
Bullshit!
said,
Oh, all we
Bullshit!
heard was ye.
we just heard ye.
I'm just gonna look at Lovelar and I just say, "Hey, can you tell the guard to like watch the truck? The snake wants to stay behind."
He nods and just calls over to the guard. He's like, "Hey, I have something really cool if you want to see it. Like really cool.
Say that.
It will be mighty cool."
The guard seems to be having trouble putting your accent together with your Furbolg incarnation. Math is not his strong suit, and you seem to have stunned him for the time being.
Well, don't look like you got egg on your face. Come on over. And he is going to walk over, wrap his arms around the guard, and pull him over to the truck. Now, you seem like a snaky kind of guy. And he's kind of doing this also to, like, pin down his arms a little bit, just to make sure that, like, if he does go to attack, he can just be like, pull him away and go, nope.
I see that rolling.
Well, he takes one peek at what you guys got in the back of your van, and from clear across the settlement, our sentries clearly can hear. This guy, you just scared the bejesus out of him. Oh my god!
I just look up at Lovelar and I'm like, I said, tell him to watch it, not mortalize him.
What's
I can
going on?
I can very
Marky?
clearly tell screaming. I don't need to
Barkeep
understand
Demon
their
joining us
language.
here with a rate of 34. Holy moly, guacamole. Goodness gracious, bodacious Ignatius. Thank you kindly. Happy Sunday to y'all. Hope you're having a good
Oh
night.
gosh, there's so many.
Are
Thank
you with us?
for the raid.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, that's the exact sound you hear echo across the entire.
So,
Well, now
yeah.
that wasn't very called for. It's like you ain't never seen a giant snake lady before. That was very rude.
Then again, I suppose they haven't seen a bird person before either.
Yeah, he was just kind of minding his own business, more focused on the people he knew doing their daily thing, coming back from sentry duty, and then all of a sudden one of them gets taken aside and, hey, come check out my giant 30-foot-long snake lady friend here.
We were also literally told that they didn't know anything other than like humans.
Yeah, very true. Very
Hey,
true.
mister, you want to see my snake in the back of the van?
PG-13.
PG-13.
That was PG-13. There's a giant snake in the back of the van.
Until you get to the back of the van, rated R.
If you want to edit that to boot, then we can call it PG-13.
Little pig, little
Jeez,
pig.
but you know how they like
in.
tie themselves into knots or whatever, and they like lump themselves on top of each other? She's just hiding under folds and folds of snake. She's curled herself in a ball and is hiding from the screaming.
Well, he's not attacking, so I guess that's a start.
Yeah. Yeah, he does eventually calm after a few moments and manages to stutter out a, what is that? What happened?
Well, it's a giant snake.
It's Kabashi.
I have a name, you know.
I'm easing him into it. Humans don't really like to be confronted with a lot of new information at once. The initial shock is fine, but this is a lot, even for us. Give us a second.
Yeah, I suppose this is a lot for all of us.
Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna look at me and take some deep breaths in and deep breaths out. And he's gonna like kind of guide the guard through like a few breathing exercises.
He does his part to expedite that by grabbing a cigarette, and that contains its own deep breathing exercises.
See, now it ain't so hard to calm down. Now, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
I'm just nameless guard 13 who had no part in this script until you dragged me in. The real NPCs are inside the building where the other party members went.
Oh, so we're actual fourth walling. Okay.
Yeah, I can be Jeff. Jeff the security guard.
Every GM's nightmare coming up with NPC names on the fly.
Well, Agent Orange, it's a little easier because I just have to think of 1970s personages and we're good to go.
Just imagine the Smash Bros. Flair for Jeff right here. Jeff enters the fray.
Jeff becomes the NPC pet.
Now, why don't you go and tell everyone else that someone special is coming through and not to get so freaked out, okay?
Yeah, okay. Young,
Perfect.
who was leading the rest of the PCs into the building, just kind of turns and shakes her head. That's his entire lore. Nice.
See now, Parker, that wasn't so bad. Come on. We let everyone know so you can come out now.
She like slowly starts to make her way towards the edge of the door. By the way, my name is Preya.
Freya. Got it. Thank you.
It's fine. People don't usually remember it anyway. They usually just scream.
Wonderfully pessimistic. Now come on. And he's gonna like interlock his arm with hers and kind of like lead her out, trying to like bring her along with the PCs.
If it's any
she-
guy, If it's any consolation, Freya, I didn't scream, but I thought you were attacking me.
I do appreciate you. But yeah, she allows herself to be dragged along.
Just a quick question: Are any of the other people that we haven't met yet, any of the other humans, having a huge reaction to any of them other than the snake that was just now?
There are plenty of eyes and glances in your direction, but as you're accompanied seemingly by trusted people in the community, there's no blatant outward reaction.
Okay, and also just for a little tidbit for my character, he would appear completely just like a normal high elf to anyone, except for the fact that he has fins between on his shoulder blades, and that's about it. That's the only distinction. That he's not an elf.
Someone said something about a dragon arm as well.
I had a dragon arm and I was staring at it. That's what. I had a dragon arm and I was staring at it. That's why.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, Marcel is keeping to himself a little bit, watching everything, taking some notes, trying to put some stuff into his story. Every hour he discreetly casts Comprehend Languages as a ritual so that he doesn't lose the spell slot.
All right.
But he doesn't let anybody know that he can understand what everybody's saying.
Sure. And of course, discreet being a relative term, considering all three components are in play there, so anybody in the party who has arcane understanding has a reasonable shot at knowing you're doing something. But
That's
Jung
okay.
will escort you to the second floor of this building, where a rather stern, grim-looking human is seated behind a desk with a giant stogie in his mouth. That's right, you smoked my stogie, you son of a bitch. And he gives all of you a very curious look before he nods at Jung and the three men who were in the front seat of the van. What do we have here? And Jung gives him the general rundown of how he found you in the field, how we had just finished clearing Roswell, only to find out the new situation. And given the changing landscape, topography, new peoples also appear to be present in this setting. And here are some of them that we present to you. You may have questions, they may have questions. And this one here, strangely enough, she gestures to the Furbolg, speaks our language and their language, so he is able to translate. And the human seated behind the desk introduces himself as Marco. I am in charge of this community, New Ford. This is the only stable civilization you will find in this region. It is not done so without a great deal of blood, sweat, tears, and sacrifice. This is in fact part of our town motto. We're still working on it, but a general appreciation and understanding of the lives that were lost, the lives that were still placed to make this community what it is mandatory. We will brook no disrespect, questioning, or violation of our way of life here. You understand, to do so, it puts all of us at risk. Jung is trustworthy. If she vouches for your presence here, you have a place to stay here for the time being. But first, I would like to know just a bit about each of you. And of course, we can take this in any order, bridged as necessary, considering we just did character introductions a couple hours ago. But if there's anything different or deceitful or interesting, unique in your interactions here, that is definitely noteworthy and something that we should address.
Well, one thing for Xavier would be that he would mention that he had lost his entire family and town to a dragon attack as it raised it to smoldering ash. He was saved by an angel, and he has been tasked to help others.
Fuck it. Holder would essentially just tell his story, which is the fact that he's not from this world. Does not particularly know how he got here, but so that he's pretty much just knows what he's seen so far. He's not really accustomed to anything here, so everything is appreciated for help.
Love is gonna casually mention that he's from Oregon.
It's a long way away from, well, I suppose that's a relative term now, yes? But in the previous locale we found ourselves, Oregon, it's like 1,000 miles away.
I
Nothing.
know.
Oh, please continue.
I know, it is so hard sometimes, and especially here in the desert. I ain't never been to Arizona except a couple of times.
Marcel just basically gives a quick introduction. He didn't tell everybody the whole backstory of him being an urchin and everything like that. It was more like, hey guys, I'm a wandering minstrel and storyteller from the Bard's College, and I'm here to jot down stories.
Freya is like wringing the very end of her tail between her hands as she looks around at all the people. And she's like, I don't want to be in the way. I would rather just sit in a supply closet or something if you have one.
I do have a balcony with a nice umbrella if you would like to get out of the sun. Otherwise, you may feel free to use it while we discuss here. You should be able to hear and interact with us just fine. He has one of his guys open the sliding glass door, pull back the curtains, and yeah, it's pretty nice, spacious balcony there.
So she gets out onto the balcony and kind of stretches herself out a little bit, and then turns back and looks at him. You said we weren't allowed. You said we weren't allowed to ask any questions?
I apologize. My presentation sometimes easy to misunderstand. I will say, when I say no questions, we do not tolerate questioning of our methodology here. This is in a general sense of if you are to spend any significant time here. The rules, the laws that we have put into place here are in place for a reason. And the questions for their existence have already been asked. The answers already been found. Your continued presence, if even that, here in this community entails a general understanding of that. We do not entertain your presence here to explain why we do the things we do, why our laws are what they are. Does this come across clearer?
It does make sense, but
Good.
do your laws account for people like us? And
Oh.
she gestures at.
He laughs and he grabs a bottle of Jack Daniels from his table and has his tongueless companion named Tongue in Cheek grab some shot glasses and pass them around to any who are interested. I cannot make assurances that our way of life has accounted for anyone us who is not human. To our understanding, until a few days ago, there were only two. I mean, unless you count the animals, it was humans and the undead. That is everything. It seems now we have many more of the living sort to both decipher and possibly contend with. Resources, of course, being in high demand and ever so scarce in this day and age.
Well, I know, based on the talk in the horseless carriage, that we have skills that might be useful.
Xavier will accept one of the shot glasses if it's being handed around.
Good, yes. Oh yeah, shots are offered to any who are interested. That would seem to be the face value of it, Marco responds. Just looking at you, and I speak to each of you, of course, your equipment, your manner of confidence, the way you hold yourselves. You obviously are not, I was going to say American, but not even from Earth. You're not human, most of you. You might be human, but I'm not even sure about you. He looks over at Marcel.
At that comment, Xavier just kind of looks over at his skin.
Right? Yeah, he doesn't even consider you. He's like, yeah, you obviously had a bad trip at Burning Man, but
Most of us here aren't really that human, really.
yeah, some of you are even pushing the humanoid definition.
I'm probably
Love
the
looks
I'm,
absolutely offended at not being called human.
I'm probably the closest to human, and I look more elf than human. So
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know,
definitely.
because Xavier looks like a burnt human.
I mean, one of
yeah,
you,
yeah.
this one right here, might be Vulcan. He looks over at the elf. But regardless, there will be much to learn, to decipher over the coming weeks between everyone, I imagine. So it is a certainty that the laws we have in place will need some manner of amendment when it comes to these things, but by and large, the extension of Vulcan, Burned One, Giant, and so Snake, and so on and so forth, at least from my point of view, it still falls in the same two. You are either living or you are of the living dead. And as the living dead do not compose themselves, they do not speak, they do not interact, as we are obviously doing here, you would fall into the category of living. And in that respect, our laws are quite simple. If you are a hostile, we will make short work of your existence. If you are ally, neutral, willing to see reason, willing to work for common benefit, then arrangements can be made.
Xavier nods when the translation comes through.
Of course, sounds reasonable.
That would make sense.
And
Alright,
what other questions can I answer for you?
What can we do for you?
Ah, this is my type of question. Yes, direct, direct to the point. He gestures around at his parking lot of armored trucks, all of them definitely jury-rigged. They just took existing trucks and welded some armor plating onto them. They've welded some weapon mounts onto some of them, so some of these guys that are carrying some of the heavier artillery have a place to mount that when they are riding in the vehicles. And he just kind of shakes his head, takes another shot. This time, Chivas Regal. Took another shot of Chivas Regal. And I'm gonna quit that job. And he turns. This change of events, as far as the world we live in, having altered, creates an additional problem on top of what was already a surmounting issue. Our fuel supply is just about tapped. We have rationed, we have used the best and brightest to craft ways around the standard reliance on petrol. But we are unfortunately at the end of our rope. The existing supply that we had rationed is gone. Those who were able to circumvent the usual methods have either died, been killed, left the community, or simply no longer have access to the materials that they need to continue this research. And thus we find ourselves at a very unfortunate situation. If you got to look at the community as you drove through, yes, many of the homes are not in the best of condition, but they are 4 walls and sometimes 3 walls, and a roof, or part of a roof. It's better than outside in the unprotection. And we have a rather thriving community here. Numerous people of numerous walks of life. Some of them grow their own food. Some of them are capable of producing medicine. We have a nurse who is quite capable at treating grievous injury. She has saved more than one life since she took over at the hospital, and he kind of looks out across the street to that white building just to the north of the compound, which unmistakably is the hospital. And not only are we of benefit and self-sustaining, we pride ourselves on being long-ranged to the other communities, the others struggling. Of course, we don't know what, is Carlsbad even still there? I don't know. There were survivors at Carlsbad before. But if the town is even still there, I couldn't say one way or the other. So we will have some pages to turn in that respect. But without fuel, without range, this ability that we currently have to send our nurse to an injured man 20 miles away within an hour, we will no longer have this. Our ability to bring in a valuable shipment of supplies that have been found, likewise 25, 30 miles away, this will now take days to complete, and as opposed to within the afternoon. So these are but a couple examples of the domino effect that this has on our way of life, and the way of life of many people who've come to rely on what we do here at New Ford. So when it comes to what you can do for me, there is one location that I would ask you to check out. We will risk resources and people to see this done. It is that important. You are familiar with Jung? My good friend Tongue in Cheek here is our strongest and most capable tactician. He will also accompany you. We will set one vehicle up for you. You can always type things out there in the chat if you want to kind of get some RP in on the side. It doesn't always have to be linear, especially now that we've kind of moved past that scene there, letter C. There was a city on the river named Laughlin. It's quite a distance away. Will take you most of the day in the vehicle. But in this city, there was a casino, the Riverside Casino, where a group of survivors had, for many years, created a sustaining community not dissimilar from ours. It is possible that they are still operational, and if they are, I would like you to be that olive branch that will possibly get them on the same page with this new reality that we all share. You may be the first of your kind that they come into contact with, but with a couple accompanying you who they may be more familiar with. This will hopefully bridge that gap and put any initial anxieties to rest. If the casino and its people are still in business, despite the distance, they were known to have a capable scientist who created his own fuel, I believe, from corn, of all things. If they are still operational, as I say, despite the distance, we may be able to make this work. And if this is something that you will do for me, I would be most grateful, and there are many things I would be able to do for you.
Well, as I've said, I'm more than happy to help. I can't speak for the rest of the group, but I know that I'd be willing to try.
I would be able to try, but I do have one question.
Go on.
As I point to one of the guns that one of the other people are carrying, I'm like, do you have any more of those? I presume.
You're talking about the gun?
Yeah.
We have a few extra in inventory. We are not in the habit of passing them out on first meeting, circumstances aside.
I do find sympathy with that, but if we are to be leading out here, I don't want to be caught unprepared if we find out that there are more of these undead.
He looks at the giant sword on your back and the other weapons that you're carrying.
I'm carrying 2 weapons, my guy.
I presume that, I see javelin, dagger, and greatsword. But,
okay, 3. But yeah.
I presume the weapons that you carry are ones you are more familiar with. This is not from a place of greed and hoarding. These are dangerous weapons and not fit for the untrained. Nor are we in a position where we have time to conduct the proper training while our fuel shortage is in the red.
I will concede on that. I would most agree that we would probably need more training, which we do not have time for. But I was more referring to, as I gesture to the rest of the party, giving those to those who prefer ranged. I prefer to get up close.
Xavier at this point holds up his hand and kind of gives like a shoulder tap to Yoon, and does this whole little hand wiggle type thing.
I mean, you're casting a spell?
No, just a reminder. He doesn't need a gun because he's basically one himself.
Sure.
Then he'll also point at her freshly closed wounds.
Rala would nod somberly, still figuring out what's happened and whatnot.
Yeah, I would not feel comfortable having a weapon that I am not well trained in.
Oh yeah, definitely you would know that you're not going to have your proficiency modifier added to any of that. Let me see if this works now. Been trying to add this in, but the API script has not been working for us very well. Keeps getting shut down, but brilliant. All right. So this is another way that we can circumvent the occasional 2 or 3 of us are talking at once, and one of us just inevitably concedes the point because 3 questions are asked at once, and the scene just kind of proceeds of its own accord. Text play on the side will pop a lot more by using either of these 2 formats here. The first one, obviously a bit more of a pop there. If you use that exclamation CEM and then space, whatever you're going to type after that, the color that you have chosen next to your name at the bottom of the screen will be the background of your text drop there, so it makes it pop a lot more from just the standard text that you're showing there. And then if you want something a little simpler, you can use just the /E for emote space and then type in whatever you're going to type. The only downside with that is it all has that same orange text right there, and if a lot of people are doing it at once, it can all just kind of bleed together and doesn't separate as well as the different colored backdrops. And you can also see whatever picture you've chosen for your Roll20 avatar will also populate inside that little text play box. So, yep, just one workaround that we have found works for us here, especially in these heavy RP sessions, if we want to make sure everything is presented as it should be. That is one helpful way to do so. But yeah, this was expected to be an RP session, but considerably more so than anticipated. I guess it's fortuitous that the maps I spent earlier today crafting will be ready for us next time around. We will definitely not be needing them tonight. But yeah, for next time around, we have a bit of prep set. Congratulations here for our first session for Sunday Night Table. Great job all, great RP, mostly among yourselves, but some RP with some NPCs as well that I thought was really cool. And this will be a wrap for our first session. We will be back for this table in 2 weeks. We run everything bi-weekly here at Roleplaying Unlimited, as I run 7 different tables. I wouldn't be able to do that on a weekly basis, otherwise I'd be running every night, pretty much. But our next table is Wednesday night, and they are the final table of the Coalescence Chapter 4 here that will have their first session. So we'll see just how that goes. We're going to take it back over to the feudal Japan invades Waterdeep Faerun setting that we have already played 2 of 3 sessions on. Get it over to our ending scene here. Thank you so much to our 6 players here. Don, extra special shout out for stepping in as an extra to give us a 6-party group here. But yeah, for Sunday Night Table, we got our core of 5. We're going to have room for 2 more if we have interest in people filling those seats. And otherwise, yeah, fantastic work here tonight. We will catch you next time around for the Coalescence on Wednesday night, 6 p.m. But yeah, as J-Man is saying there, he does have his game on Tuesday night as well. So that is our next official Role-Playing Unlimited stream. Until then, friends, we will see you around. You know always there is no RU without you. Good night.
Thank you. Good
Have a good night.
Good night.
I saw you singing in a photograph, but I never learned your name. Then it wasn't long I fell in love and hoped you'd feel the same. So you told me, come on over, sing a sweet refrain, and the world was turning slower. I can't explain. And I always will do right by you. Not a single thing I wouldn't do. I'm never gonna let you down. And darling, you should know, as long as we keep turning round, I'll never let you go. those days. And I always will do right by you. Not a single thing I wouldn't do. I'm never gonna let you down. And darling, you should know. As long as we keep turning round, I'll never let you go. I'm never gonna let you down. And darling, you should know. As long as we keep turning round, I'll never let you go.
That's my
'Cause it's
that's
in
my
my
question.
shield right
He's
now.
in the Saladin shield.
Characters partially within the affected area ignore this effect and draw line of sight as normal.
Okay.
Shouldn't it take partial damage for that one, or am I thinking the other?
You're thinking the other one.
It takes 2 damage every time it starts its turn there.
Okay.
So Reaper,
I
that
think it's heat
is
also, for what it's worth.
18's gonna hit. Yeah.
Or burn rather.
oh yeah, good call. I added the damage. I forgot to add.
Okay. Down to 8. But I still have armor 10. No, I'm at armor 12 because I still took damage. I don't pop, but that's enough to get up to armor 12.
Its turn is done. It's back over to you.
Oh, so we got raided, Hoop.
So it's only Holly and I, right?
Role playing unlimited. Oh my god! Thank you so much for the raid. We love you so much. Thank you for your community with us. We're playing some Lancer. We are doing a ultra behemoth fight, an unfair stacked fight against the pilots, but they are holding their own.
We shall hold the line, for none may survive Kay's sting.
We have Duke and Bad
Kay's
Blood
dead.
left.
Kay's not. Kay's not
wait,
dead.
Oh, good.
The damage it just dealt to me, wait, I'm so sorry. What type of damage was that? Oh, wait, hold on. It bypassed all damage reduction. Never mind. Because I had the resistance to kinetic.
Yep.
My bad.
So Duke or Bad Blood?
Can you get close enough to hit it, Holly?
Yeah. So okay. So I have. There we go. I have limit break and my superheated reactor feed, which is radiance.
Mhm.
And
So
so
you're-
that should add like so much range, like 15 to everything.
Plus 10 range to all of your ranged attacks, or plus 3 threat to all your melee weapons.
But limit break stacks with it.
Yes. So
Okay.
while you're exposed, limit break stacks with these bonuses for a total
Right.
of plus 10 range and plus 3 threat.
Right. Okay.
Nice.
So yes, I can.
D6, please, for your intangibility.
Okay.
You're still intangible.
That's great. Okay.
Well, it has helped you to evade any damage at all. So, you know.
All right. So I can't take anything like activating like do I do protocols first before getting out of?
Protocols are always first.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna use that. And we'll use that. Okay. So, okay. What I will do then is, I can
I need
move.
that in the
Just
future.
I can move, right? Yes, I
Mhm.
can, and I should be okay. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Then I'm going to.
You're within range of the Annihilator.
I know. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay.
Go. So quick action to exit intangibility. Which I forgot to read. Nope. Why is it not?
Where I live now.
Oh, weird.
It came off it.
Yeah. To make your shot.
Okay. And so I have a leadership die. What can I use that for again?
You can add it to the attack roll or damage roll.
I have to decide now.
Well, yeah, when you use it,
Before you
you
roll.
lose it. Yeah.
I would. Oh, okay. Okay. No, okay, I'm not gonna use it.
Fire away.
Oh, of course. Cool. Love that for me.
There's a 4 and miss.
I
Hero
know.
Hero point.
Okay. I will re-roll it. Because it's not a D6.
Blair, I hope you know that your hero points are saving their lives.
Yes, that's the whole point.
Okay, there we go.
That
Yay.
hits.
Oh, my brother, sing with me.
For
Okay.
5 points of damage, reduced down to 3. And I believe you have 8 heat right now.
Diggy diggy hole.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
So it's going to take that burn up to 10. And he's going to take that extra damage. He is very, very hurt.
Okay. With heat, what classifies you as in the danger zone?
Half
Over
or
half, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Okay.
So you moved, you did both your quick actions. You could overcharge if you'd like to do another quick action.
Yeah, I do, and I'm gonna disappear again.
All right, so click the dice to roll your overcharge.
It's okay.
You're going to structure, or you're going to stress.
Hmm.
Because the only damage that's happened is damage you've done to yourself.
Hey. So then do I just roll what popped up?
Yep.
2d6s? Jesus. Okay, cool, I guess.
You're exposed. Doesn't matter.
I'm already exposed.
And you don't cascade. So you're fine. And you are now intangible.
Yay.
It is back to me. We're going to go with the big guy, who is going to take 2 more burn. I take 2 damage.
How's he looking?
Awful. Both of you are still in range, so we're
Fuck him
gonna
up.
tippy tap away. Titanic stomping. Oh, I forgot that he can grapple for free. That probably would have helped at some point.
No, but I'm fine.
There's a lot of rules that I'm sure will be forgotten, but that's like half the game of Lancer.
So many. Yeah, we're just gonna tippy tap. We're gonna miss Hellhound, but we're gonna hit Reaper. Reaper can take 12 explosive damage.
I'm not gonna
I
lie. I
mitigate
feel like
all of it.
You're at
I had
12 armor?
12. I'm at 12 armor.
How dare
And that's not enough to pop.
How dare you?
Listen,
game,
I've
man.
been
This
so
is-
particular, and I think I've been doing a good job tracking armor for a system that does not somehow have armor tracking inside of it, which is a little weird for such a core feature of a frame. But I'm at armor 12, and I'm like that close to bursting.
Engineering save is a success, thankfully. Its burn is gone.
God damn it.
Its
All
turn is
right.
done.
That makes
Duke,
it my
over
turn
to
on
you.
the last one. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I am now in the regular realm of resistance. So, or like of existence. I'll pop back in and start looking at like, whoa, where the fuck did everybody go? Like,
Just
oh
see
shit! He's like, it looks
feel
super
us.
fucked up, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna make you go away, dude. You look scary, and he's gonna do a lot of shit. So I'm gonna use my protocol that gives me +1 action for my first attack roll this turn, but +1 difficulty on all other attacks rolled. And then I'm gonna activate my crack shot steady aim. So I'm immobilized. I gain a +1 accuracy on all attacks I make with rifles. Once per round, when steadying your aim and making a ranged attack with a rifle, you can attempt to hit a weak point, gain +1 difficulty in the roll, and do bonus 1d6 damage on a critical hit. So I do that as well. Those are all protocols. I'm going to use one of my quick actions to activate Kill Shot, so I get a +5 to the roll. So I have +5, +1 accuracy, and I'm in the danger zone, so I'll do 2 heat on hit and 1d6 energy damage. So I'm doing 4d6 +7.
You got it.
With this shot. And I'm gonna shoot him. So I have
Shoot away.
2. How do I add 2 accuracy? Oh, here we go. So I'm gonna add 2 accuracy. Oh, it doesn't let me add 2. Whatever, it doesn't matter because I would just do 2 and then 1. So roll.
Absolutely
Let's
a hit.
go. So that's
Absolutely a crit.
13. So it's a crit. Okay. Because I crit, I am going to. Oh, it has to pass a hull save.
Oh, so you have an additional 2d6 damage to tack on.
Yep.
20. That's fine.
Oh, it's gonna pass. Okay, cool. So 2d6 is the overpowered caliber and nuke cav.
So 15 total, down to 8. It is still standing.
God, fucking hell.
By how did you look rickety?
Very.
Oh damn, I couldn't do that. Okay.
Let me go next.
So then at the
Boy,
end
oh,
of
you.
my it also takes heat. It takes 2 heat.
Yep. It has a surprisingly high heat cap.
The Kingdom of Gondor.
Okay, making sure I have everything. So that's cool. Okay. Don't take any heat. I have 1. No, those are my 2 quick actions. So I want to overcharge and
Probably.
take stress. What does the stress do?
Stress is me rolling your d6 and seeing what happens.
It's the first stress you lose. Nothing bad can happen.
Okay. So I will overcharge.
Unless you roll 1.
I mean, you can't blow up from your first stress loss.
Unless you roll multiple ones.
Yeah, but on your first stress,
So
you
then
can't
what do
roll
I-
more than 1.
Oh, roll?
No, well, wait, yeah.
No exposed.
You're exposed. You take double
I'm
damage.
immune to cascade. Okay.
Yeah, but you're about to take a lot more damage.
Exposed.
And then I'm going to attack with my fuel rod.
Do it.
Oh, did you do my extra +3, or did you do the full +7 damage for the first one?
Yep, from your hunter lock.
Cool. Let's see. First attack roll. I get +1 difficulty on this attack roll. But then it's not a rifle. Okay, yeah. So +1 difficulty on this attack roll. Where's my thingy? Roll +1 difficulty. Roll.
Absolutely hits.
Perfect.
For 2 points of damage.
And then that reduces my heat by 4.
You love to see it.
And then at the end of my turn, I get my free action.
Fire.
And I hit it with my auto gun. It's also inaccurate.
Pew, 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 pew. Doesn't matter. Evasion 6 is real hard to miss. For another point of damage.
Perfect. And then I think that is everything.
Okay. Turn's done.
How fucked up does this thing look?
Very.
Very.
Let me at him.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Because you get to go.
Is it our turn again?
That's the end of the round.
So that.
Well,
what does
no,
that mean?
wait, but according to Tom Lancer, you get to go, don't you?
I do get to go.
I dare not interrupt whatever is happening on James's screen
Okay,
and
go
what
ahead.
is happening in
No,
rules of
wait, something's
combat.
happening on my screen?
No,
Round 6.
never.
No? Okay, thank God. I was really worried that I was getting blocked off and like
Hey, look, just stay where you are.
We are going to.
I don't know
tippy-tap
what
stop.
you're seeing. I just see my
Tippy
room.
tap toeing's going on.
We're tippy tapping. We don't interrupt the tippy tapping.
You don't have to though.
I'm gonna miss Reaper again, but Hellhound and Duke are both gonna get hit. Hellhound, you'll take 5 explosive damage. Duke, you will take 24 explosive damage.
3,
You're exposed. You take double damage.
2. I take no damage.
I was already factoring in your armor and your resistance.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, then I take no damage.
So you take 5. Duke takes 24. And is just impaired.
Cool.
Its turn is done.
Cool.
It's back over to you.
I ask you all of this. Sorry, you are muted currently.
Yeah, I'm back into invincible space whenever I take a point of structure.
Oh, you're
So now that's done.
You're intangible.
Not even
Go-
intangible. I can't be hit by things that are intangible either.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Okay. So question, can I do a silly goofy move?
Always.
No, go
I
ahead.
want to play the with my team.
No. They don't get a say.
You know what? Because I'm at 3d6 damage, and if I fire my apocalypse now, it will become shredded and stunned. So go ahead.
Sir K charges to be adjacent to the mech here and attempts a jockey maneuver. Which means you need to make a hull check against a d20 plus my grit.
D20 plus 5. 17.
17 for me.
12. Jump on its back.
No fucking way, dude. This thing's a behemoth, and you're a human.
I jockey it nonetheless, for that is what Excalibur demands. That being said, hi. Do I get the sense this thing has enough armor